NYYST. This is New York, Yankee sports talk. Swinging for the fences, knock it out the park. This is New York, Yankee sports talk. Christian and Chris, of course SGR. This is New York, Yankee sports talk. Homie, New York, Yankee sports talk. Record, rain or shine, grab your shades and umbrellas. NYYST, you're hanging with the fellas.
Welcome back. This is episode 285 of the NYYST podcast. We are live on NYYNewsTV. I'm your host, Christian. And this week, we're joined with Pete from the Designated Spitters. What up, Pete?
Yo, what's going on, fellas?
And SGR.
Okay. Actually, SGR is no longer with us today. Okay. All right. I will be filling in the entire episode here. Okay. It'll be me. Mike's on live. Okay. And I'm also joined here. I got Minko with me here. Minko, come and say hello. Come here. Hey, boys. How we doing? John Minko here, formerly WFAN. I will be joining the fellas tonight in the background, looking up your stats. I will be SGR for tonight. Thank you, fellas, for having me. It's a pleasure as always.
Wow, what a shocker.
It's unbelievable.
I didn't expect Mike and Mink to take over. Mike, do you know where SGR is? Did
he did. He just left me a note. He said, "Have fun." He set me up with a Zoomie. Okay, he got me a Zooms out here. And you know, me and Mink were having a sleepover tonight, so we figured why not do a double team.
Sleepover.
Okay. You know, having a little sleep over here, and we're gonna have some fun tonight, boys. We're staying up all night. Okay, all nighter. Okay.
Well, normally we send SGR on assignment. This week we sent Chris on assignment. That's why Pete's filling in. Pete, thank you very much for sitting in with us. I didn't know that I wasn't going to have any of my compatriots this week. We got Mike here instead of SGR. So thanks for sitting in. Pete, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Just unbelievable, you know. But sitting here with Mike. Mike, I got to ask you one question if you don't mind. I mean, if I'm allowed to grace your royalty here.
Go ahead.
I really got to ask one question. What is Mike Francesa's go-to meal during a game? What is the thing you go to during a game?
All right, good question here. I'll allow it. Well, first off, any meal is not complete without the beverage. Okay, we need a Diet Coke first and foremost. Okay, I need that locked and loaded. Okay, then I'm taking a half a slice of pizza. I'm cutting it down the middle. Okay, and I'm putting French fries on top of the pizza. Okay, and then I'm eating that simultaneously. I'm eating a full bucket of chicken. Okay. All right, we're doing that.
I can respect that. I respect it.
No veal parmesan.
Okay, a little veal. Yeah, well, that's special occasions. Okay, all right. We got the veal tortellini Alfredo with of course Diet Coke on the side.
Throw the veal right. Throw a veal cutlet right on top of the pizza. Why the hell not?
Christ.
Oh, you know that's not a bad idea. I like this kid, Christian. He's a good guy. Okay.
All right. Well,
there you go. Hey, I'm approved. I'm now approved. I'm happy. I'm excited.
That's true.
There you go.
Okay. Are you gonna ask me what I like to eat? No, don't worry about it, man. Okay. All right. That question was for me. Okay.
Mike, this is a 3-man booth. Okay, so can you just keep Minko, keep him calm?
Put him in a bathroom.
If there's anyone who knows how to keep Minko calm, okay, it's me.
Yeah, just put him in a bathroom. That's
okay.
All.
Yeah, we're gonna put him in there. Okay, El Baño. Okay.
That was one of my favorite scenes from A Bronx Tale.
The best. Everybody's in a bathroom. So I don't want that face looking at this face.
Well, we know where the Yankees are, and that's not in the bathroom. A perfect homestand for the Yankees. They took 6 out of 6 against the Angels and the Detroit Tigers this week. We'll get into that shortly, but, I mean, we got to say the event is almost here. It's June 6th right now, so 19 more days. You'll be able to come and hang out with the NYYNewsTV team at Yankee Stadium as they play the Houston Astros. I believe there's still tickets available. We're probably well over 100 right now. Yep. If you go to at NYYST_podcast, it's our pinned tweet. All the information is there. If you get your ticket, obviously you get to watch the baseball game, but 90 minutes before first pitch, You hang out at the party deck. You get all you can eat burgers, hot dogs, chicken fingers. I believe it also includes adult beverages and sodas. So, Mike, you can get a Diet Coke if you come to the event.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good to me there, Christian. Thank you. Okay, I'll get a little sleepy here. Oh, God. So this all night is going to be tough, fellas. I don't know if I could do this whole podcast. Okay.
All right. So we're very excited, man. I went out to the stadium for the first time this year on Saturday. I was very excited to be there. So it's just going to be an awesome time. The whole NYYST team is going to be out there Saturday, June 25th. As we said, they're playing the Astros, so it's going to be a good game too. That's all you hear. A lot of people, oh, the Yankees haven't played anybody. Well, they'll be playing somebody that day. I mean, that would probably be their toughest test in the American League is the Houston Astros. So come out, support the NYYST team and catch yourself a ball game. I mean, you can't really get it much better than that, right?
Yeah, man. It's awesome, man. I can't wait for it. We got a lot planned as it is, and we've been talking about this event now. I don't even know when Chris originally brought it up to me. Like, I will wait for a little while and see what happens and when the season's going to begin. And so it's something that was worked on by you guys for a while, and it was going to happen, I think, during the COVID year, wasn't it?
Yeah, we actually had a nice response to it in 2020, and then obviously we all know what happened there. So it's just been way bigger now that we're all together as a team here. Right. So I'm very excited for everybody to be together for the first time, because since the channel started, we've all interacted over Zoom, so we're finally going to get to meet each other too. So
yeah, it's going to be great. And one of the things I'm looking forward to doing is I'm not a big I'm never I don't know about you guys, I'm not the picture guy in my family, but my fiance is coming and she's picture crazy. So she's like, you got to get these memories, you got to have it. So one picture I know I want is the original crew all together. So all of us that are going to be there, all the guys that are going to be there, you guys, of course, Francis, the regular team, Chef's going to be there, of course. Definitely got to get a picture with all you guys. That's an important one, I think, for us. As NYYST continues to grow, we're getting closer and closer to 10K. Like I said before, when we hit that, we're going to have memberships for everybody involved, and it's going to be fun. We just got great things planned at NYYST. We really do.
That's right.
Yeah,
we're the fucking best. If I got to toot my, we're the best. We got Mike fucking Francesa.
Okay, I mean, we got Francis. You got Francis. Okay, and then you got Francesa. Okay, it's
how many teams have that? Not a lot of teams have that.
I mean, who's got Francesa sitting in on their podcast? Nobody else does.
No. Live, late at night. Late at night. It is late.
And this is late, Mike. It's like 8:45.
Yeah. Dude. Well, gosh, it's already that late.
All right, we don't want to keep Mike up too late, so let's jump into what we got to talk about here today. As we said, the Yankees, perfect homestand, man, 6-0 against the Angels and the Detroit Tigers. This rotation, look, man, I remember talking to you guys about it, talking to Andy, but I did not think we thought people were out of their friggin' minds when they said this was a top 5 rotation in Major League Baseball.
Yep.
And you have to say right now, as we sit here, this is the best rotation in Major League Baseball. You can argue with me and tell me that there's a different one, but not the way that the Yankees are pitching right now. I mean, they're exceeding all expectations. We said these guys, all for the Yankees to be that type of rotation, these guys all need to hit their ceilings, and they're doing it right now. Yeah. And it's been really fun to watch, because a lot over the past decade plus, since the Yankees haven't won a World Series, this has been a major problem that this team has faced. And let's give credit where maybe it's due right now. Maybe Brian Cashman is a little bit smarter than we gave him credit for. These guys are all pitching really well. And it's been fun to watch right now. That Pete, you've been watching baseball. Mike, you've been watching baseball for 80 years, right? So
okay, well, let's not push that. Okay. Okay, I'll allow it. Go ahead.
When a staff is put together, and you go through one turn through the rotation, you can say, like, okay, I can see that the team might not win this game because this guy's not that good. Yep. What guy takes the mound for the Yankees right now where you don't feel confident that they're going to win that ball game?
Nobody. Nobody, not right now. I mean, they're absolutely phenomenal. I mean, this is the best Yankee rotation that we have seen in a very, very long time. I mean, based off the numbers alone, I think Monty's the only guy right now, correct me if I'm wrong, with a little slightly over a 3 ERA.
That's right there. He's got
I think it's 3.02.
3.02, very good. It's the highest ERA. I am filling in here. I got Minko's feeding me the stats here. Okay, we got Severino's got a 2.95. Okay, Cole 2.78. Tyone 2.3, and then Nesta at the top there with a 1.50. Okay?
Unbelievable. I mean, just absolutely unreal and incredible. I mean, the crazy thing is, I don't know if you guys feel this way as I do. Nestor's getting a lot of credit as he deserves. He's really the talk of the AL Cy Young right now. But I haven't heard anybody talk about Jameson Taillon. The guy's been phenomenal. I mean, Jameson Taillon, he's like kind of like I'm like blending in, but he's been unbelievable for this team.
Well, think about the way this rotation breaks out, right? Gerrit Cole's the $320 million man.
Right.
He was brought here to be the ace, right? So he gets a lot of the publicity. You have the story of Nestor Cortez, the 36th round draft pick, the mustache, the funky shit that he does on the mound, right? Yep. You got Sevy, who's trying to reclaim his career after pretty much not pitching since 2018. You got Monty, who Yankee fans have seen grew up. And then you got this guy, Jameson Taillon, who just kind of he flies under the radar.
Yeah.
And when he got his sea legs under him last year, he was the best pitcher in the American League for a good stretch. Unfortunately, he got hurt. And we were all saying, well, that's the book on Jameson Taillon. But credit Jameson Taillon. Ryan's not here. I shouldn't call him out. But, okay.
SGR you're just used to saying it. That's all.
I'm just used to saying it.
All right, what do you need Minko to find?
No, I'm just saying. We talked about it. We didn't expect Jameson Taillon to start making his debut for the season until maybe right around now, because he had had surgery on his ankle or something. He was ready to go right out of the chute, and he's pretty much picked up right where he left off before he got hurt in 20.
Yeah, he's flying under the radar. Okay, that's what I like to call it. Okay, he's under the radar there. And last year, first year here was in the spotlight. This year, the spotlight has turned away. Okay, simple as that.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, back to you. Back to you. Go ahead.
I'm not going to make it tonight.
Yeah, no, me neither. I don't know how much longer I could do this. Okay.
But I mean, he took that perfect game bid. Was that Thursday? He took that into the 8th inning.
Didn't they all? I feel like they all have. I feel like every Yankee pitcher has gone through like the 6th inning in the last start with no hits.
Cole took his into the 7th, and then
Taillon took us to the 8th, I think.
Yeah, he took it into the 8th. And then I was at the game on Saturday, and I turned around to the guy sitting behind me, and I was like, did Sevy give up a hit? And he's like, yeah, he did in like the 3rd inning. I was like, wow, like I'm like actually shocked they gave up a hit before like the 5th inning. Like that's how dominant they've been. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's a time. But still, dude, these guys are getting paid to play Major League Baseball. And we saw yesterday, if you don't make your pitches, Miguel Cabrera is still on this team. They still have Javi Baez. They still have guys that can swing the bat a little bit.
Unbelievable that Cabrera is still – he's arguably at his age right now and how far he is in his career. What is he, 42 or something like that? Still the best player on that team. I mean, he really is based on the stats. He's the best player on that team.
I don't care who you're playing when you're on a run like this. I never look the other way and say, oh, they're playing bad teams, because you could lose to anybody. The Pirates went out to LA and swept the Dodgers.
Swept them, yeah. Nobody's sitting there saying that the Pirates are better than the Dodgers. So
right. So to me, what the Yankees are doing is extremely impressive right now. What are we? What are the Yankees saying? 39-15, right? I believe that's the record. If it's, go out there. If it's so easy, why are these other teams not on a 39-15 stretch right now? You got to give the Yankees credit for winning these games.
You do. It's something we talked about all last season. I mean, last season they were a wild card team because they didn't do that. They didn't beat the Orioles. They didn't beat the bad teams, and that's what made us pull our hair out. But this year, I'll be honest, man, I feel like I'm calling almost every single game so far this year. I've obviously watched them all, but just calling it and like watching pitch by pitch and talking about every single at bat and things like that, you almost feel like I'm even starting to get to a point where it's like they're just not going to lose. They're not losing games. They're not going to lose these games. They're going to find a way to win it. I mean, who the hell expected Joey Gallo to hit a home run? I was like, damn, they're going to actually lose a game to the Tigers. Gallo ties it up, and then the Yankees take over. I'm like, this team right now, and I don't want to talk too early because I'm not a believer in talking early. It's only June. But this team feels like that there's a little magic behind them. It really does. It feels like there's a little bit of, it's magic.
The last time you were on,
it's magic.
Thank you, Mike. I knew you would like that one. That's why I said it.
Oh, great little melody there.
Pete, the last time you were on the show with me,
yeah,
it came after the Yankees pretty much embarrassed themselves out in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
And we were sitting here, we were killing the team, and rightfully so, man, because they deserved it at that point. But since then, it's like a switch went on inside of them. And they had that little blip there. They lost 4 out of 5, and then it was just like,
yeah.
Then they've been back to winning.
I mean, everything they're doing is legit. I mean, we could even, at the end of the day, I mean, we're going to get on this stuff later about things you could kind of, pinpoint certain guys, maybe you move around. But the crazy thing that I see about this team is even though Aaron Judge is having an MVP year, he's having a phenomenal season, he's not the only reason they're winning ball games on the offensive side. There's a lot of guys, yes, is he doing phenomenal compared to the rest of the team? Yeah, you could make that, but he's a special type of player. But you got little things. You got Gleyber Torres kind of resurging a little bit, having big hits for his team. Josh Donaldson, even he comes back from all the nonsense, sack fly to win the ball game. I mean, guys are doing things. IKF, I give him shit a lot. I get mad when he doesn't field. A couple of clutch hits. I mean, moving guys. They're going from first to third a lot. They're stealing bases. They're doing hit and runs.
They scored a run yesterday off of Anthony Rizzo's legs.
Yes.
Why would you? I mean,
bro, I was begging for them last year. I made a whole video about it, begging this team to bunt, hit and run, do something. And somebody said, they don't have the players. They do. They're not that different. They just were refusing to do it. The coaching staff is extremely different this year.
Let's give a little bit of praise here to Matt Carpenter, who came over.
Fucking awesome, man.
Last week. The guy's got, 4 hits? 3 of them are home runs?
No, he got 4 homers.
Oh, he does now.
Yeah,
he's got 4 home runs?
He got 4 home runs.
He's got 5 hits, 4 home runs or something like that. But he came over. The Yankees picked him up right before they played the Rays, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And it's a flyer. You're taking a chance on a guy that's a former All-Star to see what you can get out of him. And so far, so good. That's what the Yankees want. They want a guy that can go out there and slug, a left-handed guy that can slug and hit home runs at Yankee Stadium. I mean, it's not really that complicated. But if you look at the game from Friday night, he lays down a bunt with 2 outs. Yep. He starts a rally. The Yankees were what did they score? 7 runs that inning?
Great point. Yeah, They turned on. Matter of fact, on top of that, there was 2 outs. Nobody on base. And he lays that bunt down like that. I mean, just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, but that's the thing that you're seeing this team do more of. They're doing the little things which have a big effect later in games or in that moment. And they've really just been, it's a day and night difference. I mean, I think that's the thing we wanted out of this offense. We just seen the offseason and you go, I mean, did they really improve like that? And honestly, at the end of the day, the red flags are still there. Don't get me wrong. There's still guys and pitching and all that you got red flags on. But so much has worked out right. Guys have bounced back the way you want them to. And things are just going well. And then the little things like bunting, stealing bases, hit and run, they've done so many times this year. I mean, they do it often. And it's been fun to watch. It really has been.
LeMahieu got thrown out trying to go to third with 2 outs yesterday. And, it's not a smart baseball move, but at the same time, I don't mind it because this team has been way more aggressive on the base paths and it's working to their advantage. They're putting pressure on the other team's defense. And especially when you're playing teams like the Tigers and the Orioles and even, shockingly, the Rays don't field well. That can net you an extra run or 2 during a game. And that could be the difference between a game that last year that they don't win to this year that they're winning now because they're putting pressure on the opposing team's defense.
That's right. And again, we all know this by being baseball fans. That is a recipe for success. We have been begging year after year. I know, Christian, you were a fan of getting rid of Luke Voigt. I knew they had to move on from guys like that. There finally seems like in a sense, Brian Cashman is sitting back saying, we knew the offense had to change a little bit. Now, Aaron Judge is carrying the load of the team. We know that. He's hit 21 homers, already on pace for 65, something crazy like that. But they're getting contributions by the guys like Matt Carpenter's, IKF. The Gleyber Torres is coming back with a lot of big hits, moving things around. They're doing absolutely terrific. So it's a much more balanced offense than we've seen in years past. Yes, they hit home runs. I get that. They have 4 runs, 4 solo shots the other night. I get it. They're going to score that way. But I am much more confident in the 2022 Yankees and the 2021 Yankees, let's say facing a guy like a Justin Verlander. I'm much more confident in this offense. And I also believe their offense is still going to improve more when we get to deadline time.
Yeah, I mean, before we get there, because I think we need to definitely discuss the offense and how they could improve and kind of improve simply. I still want to give a little bit of love to this rotation. Are you now? I don't know if you and I have ever spoken about this. I am. My mind is completely changed on Nestor Cortes. I don't think this is a fluke anymore. I think that, I'm not going to say this guy's going to pitch to a 1.5 ERA every year, but I think this is a very dependable now guy that you can trust in this rotation.
No question. No question about it. And I think it's the biggest. If he is not anybody, I'm just going to call anybody out right now. Anybody who acts like, I had Nestor in the rotation because I knew he'd be this good. Shut up. Shut up. There's not a man fucking alive. Look, advanced scouting. The analytic nerds didn't think Nestor Cortes would be this good. Nobody on planet Earth sat there and said, Nestor Cortes is going to be the ace of the Yankees, because he is. There's no denying it. Look, I don't care if you love Gerrit Cole. I love Gerrit Cole. I want Gerrit Cole to be fantastic. He had a great outing. His last outing, I want him to keep doing it. The ace of this team right now is Nestor Cortes. He simply
all
is.
right. So
Mike,
Pete, let me ask you.
Mike, come on.
Let me just ask you. I got a question for you then, Pete. Game 1, okay.
Nestor, Mike.
LDS, you're going
Nestor.
with Nestor. Okay, you're going with Nestor.
Mike, you're going Nestor too, Mike. Come on.
I would. Right now, I'll go Cole. Okay?
Come on, Mike.
Look
You're
at the
smarter than that,
look at the
Mike.
money. Okay, if there's only a handful of major leaguers that make more money a year than I do, and Gerrit Cole's one of them. Okay, all right. So I got to give the ball to the guy who gets paid the big bucks. Okay, that's Gerrit Cole. I got to give him the ball. I got to do it. Okay.
What do you say, Christian? What do you? I know you're a big. You're obviously a big Cole fan.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of message are you sending if you don't give Gerrit Cole the ball in Game 1?
Well, here's the thing. Let's take that off the books here. Let's not live in the reality of what we know the Yankees would do, which is they're not gonna insult Gerrit Cole by putting somebody over him. We know that.
Because my
feeling wise, how you feel, how I feel, I'm going Nestor. I'm sorry.
If I have Nestor. One, it's still so hard for me not to say I have to give the ball to Gerrit Cole in that spot. It really is.
If you take take the names away, okay, and you just look at the numbers, you got to go Nestor. Okay,
you gotta go Nestor. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
If you're just looking at the numbers, but that's not reality.
That's all I'm doing, Mike.
That's a bit of a fallacy there of a predetermined outcome, and you run into muddy waters there. Okay?
Muddy waters. Okay. I like that, muddy waters.
Yeah, muddy waters. Okay, it's the name of my next album. My album I'm doing with Minka. We're gonna do a jazz album together. Muddy waters.
Hashtag muddy waters.
I don't have enough ammunition to fight somebody that says Nestor Cortes, but I'm telling you, I just have me personally, I have a hard time not saying that I'm giving the ball to somebody else in that spot.
And that's fair. That's fair. I mean, look, at the end of the day, we know what the Yankees are going to do. Even if Cole's ERA ends up being over 3, the Yankees are still going to go to him in Game 1. They just are.
Because
I don't think there's an argument there.
There's 2 things that I really want to touch. There's 2 things that really worry me about this rotation. I wouldn't say really worry, but there's 2 things that kind of bother me a little bit about this rotation right now, because everything is roses right now. Everything is coming up aces. I think Monty went out there, gave up 2 runs in 6 1/3. That was the worst start they had in 2 weeks. So I mean, everything is great for this rotation, but there's still the question of Sevy's innings. Okay, he hasn't pitched since 2018. I know he's come out here and he's been gangbusters and he's looked like what you want Luis Severino to look like.
Yeah.
But at some point, he's got to pay that toll of not having pitched in 4 years. And that's why when people think I'm crazy for saying if there's top level or even a number three, somebody out there that you think that you could slot into his rotation, that the Yankees should go out there and get it at the trade deadline. That's why, because the Yankees are going to get, for lack of a better term, creative with Luis Severino down the stretch here, especially if they have a big lead.
Here's what I'll say about Severino. And of course, the Yankees are probably predetermined on this. They already have an idea of what they're going to do with him. But seeing how good Severino has been, you got to figure out a way that when you're in the playoffs, he's available to you. So not in a sense of the Yankees ever go, well, you know what? We're worried about his innings. We'll leave him. He'll finish the year in the bullpen. He'll come out of the bullpen in the playoffs. No. Sevy's a guy that has to start in the playoffs. I don't care how good Monty is. I don't care how good Tyone is, and they're all great. Luis Severino brings a different energy to him.
He's got to be your game. He's got to be your game 3 starter.
He's got to be. Seriously, he has to be.
Okay.
And even if they have this idea of innings limit and they want to limit him a little bit, and however you do that, you got to keep him worked up enough where you're going to be able to get him into a game, start him, and not worry in the postseason how many innings he goes. You got to let him loose because at the end of the day, let's be real. Mike, you know this better than anybody. You've been around longer than all of us.
That's right. I have been.
When it comes to the World Series, that shit has to go out the window unless you're not winning nothing.
Oh, out the door. But it is
the window to door. I don't care whatever it is.
The window to the window to the wall. Anyway, you got to go there. You do it.
What drips down off your?
Okay. I don't want to get in trouble here. I'm not Jim Cott. Okay. All right. So we got innings pitched. Yeah, innings pitched. It's 2017 for Sevy, 193 and a third. Okay, in 2018, 191 and a third. 2019, 12. Okay, 12 innings. 2021, 6 innings pitched. Okay,
what about this year?
He's up to 55. Okay, 55 innings. So yeah, that the innings limit could see that come.
Could you see the Yankees?
September.
Could you see the Yankees getting him to 150?
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking 150 sounds about where they're gonna keep it. Now, honestly, with me, this is when baseball gets a little weird, in my opinion. The way this team is going, I understand people are gonna make this excuse all. It's the same thing to make with. I saw somebody do it. I think maybe you shared it in our group. People like to make the excuse that, well, you can hold on to this guy because they're winning, or you can do this because they're winning. No, that shit is so stupid. Look, at the end of the day, I would personally base it off of the feel, how Luis Severino feels. Now, that's a dangerous thing to do sometimes because pitchers aren't always going to tell you the truth.
And he's not always been honest.
He's not always been honest about injuries and things like that. He wants to be out there. So I don't know how you go about it, but I'll tell you this right now. I hope, and I knock on wood, that the Yankees do not do something where they say, hey, you know what? He's going to be in the bullpen the rest of the year, including the postseason. Don't do that. Don't have a historic start. Don't be the better team. I don't care what anybody's. Look, I remember in the offseason, everything goes right. They'll be decent. Never in the hell in my life did I ever think this team would be this good and play the way they're playing. I didn't think Boone would change the way he has. I didn't think the coaching staff would be different. I didn't think guys are going to rebound the way they have. I didn't think this rotation would be anywhere near, since we're on the rotation, to be this good. So for me, whatever the hell you do, Luis Severino, they should try to keep him in the rotation for all year if they can. And if they can't, you got to make sure he's available and ready to go in the postseason and already built up, and you don't fuck around with him too much. Let him go out there and do his thing. I
agree. And the other thing that I'm concerned with, and this is just me minutes after saying that I have a hard time not giving the ball to Gerrit Cole in game one, it's his mental state. More so than anything else, it's Gerrit Cole's mental state. And I'm going to go back to that game against Tampa Bay on that Saturday when they lost, because, yes, we don't have to go through this again. That was a beautiful pitch the umpire missed. Beautiful.
Yeah. No doubt he missed it.
But Gerrit Cole let that get in his head, and he had a non-competitive at bat against Franco, and that's what ultimately allowed that tying run to score. Yep. And we've seen when Gerrit Cole gets in his own head, he was in his head against Detroit when they were in Detroit. He was in his own head. That's why he walked 5 guys and he couldn't get out of the second inning.
Yep.
5 guys, burgers and fries. Okay.
Okay. 5 guys.
Oh, I'm hungry. Okay, go ahead.
Do you like 5 guys? Or are you more of like, what's your favorite burger joint?
Smash burger.
Okay, so you smash 5 guys is what you're saying?
Yeah, I put them together. I make a smash. I smash 5 guys.
But I agree with Cole.
I don't know. Does he need a Dr. Melfi, or does he need a psychologist or something?
Yeah, definitely he does. He needs a psychologist or something going on out there, and he's probably the type of guy that wakes up. But I could see him talking to himself in the mirror. I could definitely see it. I wish Ryan was here to be able to do the Cole impression, but I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, I think Cole sits there and talks to himself in the mirror. He reminds me of one of those guys.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can make a call, try to get SG on here, because I might be going to sleep soon, fellas. Okay.
I understand, Mike. I understand. It's very late. It's even late for me, Mike. You know, us Italians, Mike. You know. Sometimes throughout the day, you get a little tired as you get old. You put a television on, you end up sleeping.
I wake up early. I get up early too. So
I was falling asleep the other day watching fucking the new Top Gun.
Okay.
Great movie, by the way, but I'm falling asleep during it. I'm an old guy now.
Yeah, we're getting there.
SGR is a big Mile Towers guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. He has posters on his wall.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's big news.
All right,
so you're leaving?
Mike, you're leaving us?
Yeah, I think actually, guys, I'm going to head out. Okay, I think SGR might be coming. I just got Minko's telling me that SGR will be the next voice that you hear. Okay, so hold on. If you have a question, you go to SGR. Take care, fellas. Have a good night.
Okay. All right, Mike. Thanks for joining us, man. We appreciate it, bro.
Okay.
All right. I think before we bring SGR, are you there?
Yeah. What's up, guys? I'm here.
What's up,
man? What's up, guys?
What's going on?
I heard Mike and Minko just filled in for me a bit.
They were here. Found something. I gave Mike a really good idea. Put a nice veal cutlet parmesan on top of a pizza. It's like his go-to snack. I thought it was a brilliant idea.
Wow, I'm gonna have to steal that idea.
He liked it. He was very excited about it.
That's the thing about Mike in retirement. He's up for those kinds of ideas. So
he got nothing to lose. He's not on television.
To know him a bit. Yeah, exactly.
Don't care how he looks.
Exactly.
So as I was saying here, I think we've seen enough now post Spider Attack that at least me, I can confidently say the stuff is there.
Yeah,
the top end stuff of Gerrit Cole is still there.
My only concern with Cole when it came to no Spider Attack was command of the fastball. And early in the year, I was like, "Oh shit, do we got something here? Is this gonna be it?" Because he was very wild with his fastball command, couldn't find it. But he's back to being Gerrit Cole.
So if he's a 99, if he was a 99 control wise with Spider Attack, what's he? What do you want to say? He's a 94. He's not as pinpoint as he was.
But he's still very, very good. I mean, there's. I'm not gonna sit here. Was this Cole better? Come on. I mean, his command has gotten so much better since the first 2 or 3 starts of the year. To me, right now, the guy we saw last outing, that's the Gerrit Cole I expect, and that's how he's been most of the season. To be fair.
Yeah, no, and I agree. I'm just saying what my issue with him is he going to get triggered on the mound and possibly blow a game?
That's a concern. It's a fair concern.
That's what I worry. That's what I worry about him. And the one thing you can always say about CC Sabathia, which was the last true ace the Yankees had, he didn't give a fuck.
No, not at all.
He did not. No, nothing bothered that man.
And can I say this too? I mean, that's one of the really things that I like about Nestor. Nestor's never going to be in a situation where he's rattled. He's just not the type of guy. You could tell. You could just tell by the way he pitches. He's not the type of guy that gets rattled. That's also the reason, too, why, and I know he hasn't had great postseason success, but that's why I want Sevy to be out there, because I think it's good for Sevy that he's not the guy. He's not the guy, especially coming back from an injury. It's one of the reasons why we all wanted to get another starting pitcher in the offseason, because you can't make this guy your number 2. Nobody expected Nestor to be a number 2, but he is. He's a number 1, really, by the way he's pitching, but even as a number 2, if you're going into a postseason series, that's the way you want it. Now, I don't care if Gerrit Cole dominates the rest of the season. If the Yankees I don't care who they're playing because they're going to be that little bye. There's going to be a little time in between. If they stay the route they're going, they're going to be the best team in the AL. If they stay that route, we'll talk about that a lot more down when the season gets closer to an end. But they're going to have a little time off. And if Gerrit Cole is facing a really good team, am I going to go into that game no matter what he does and have it behind my head and say, I don't know what we're going to get tonight, boys. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to just watch and see. That's going to be the way I see it with Cole, because at the end of the day, it's what I've said about him all. I don't care how good he is. He's paid to beat the best teams and do it in the biggest moments. And as a Yankee, he hasn't done it.
That's absolutely fair. He's and might use the word uneven. He's had a very uneven career with the Yankees so far. He's had some stinkers. He's had some big games, and he's had some games where you're like, this is not what you're here for. Yeah. So
I feel like with him, he tends to implode early on in games too, where you know right out of the gate. So that's, if he can get out of that first inning, it seems he really finds himself for the first couple innings.
Well, that's the last thing. That's the last thing you got to really, you want to see, because I mean, I don't want to go back to the nightmare of the wild card game last year, but I mean, it was just like that, wasn't it? It was basically early on. You said, here we go. And you knew he wasn't going to last, and you knew it was going to be a long night for the Yankees, because he just, for some reason, whether it's a mental part of his game or the situation somewhat gets to him, I don't know what it is. But at the end of the day, if you want to be a critic of Gerrit Cole, I'm sorry. That's the only thing you really could criticize, and somebody can't necessarily argue you on it, because he has been a bit of a stinker in the big games.
I don't think he trusted himself last year in that wild card game, between not having the spider tack and the hamstring. I'm gonna die on that hill that he wasn't healthy in that game, and
he's not. He shouldn't though, right?
No, he should not, dude. That's not an excuse. When you take the ball, unless you're actually hopping.
CeCe threw with his fucking arm hanging off the
right,
ball,
exactly, dude. That's not an excuse I want to hear out of Gerrit Cole. I'll make that excuse for him. Let me do that.
Right.
But you take the ball. There's no excuses for not getting the job done. You told your manager you were good enough to go, so you didn't get the job done. That's an L on your mark. Okay, you have to come back from that. Me personally, as a fan of the guy, as a fan of the team, I am going to make the excuse or give him to say that he had that. So I'm not going to be like, he can't get the job done in a big game based on that. Because if you look at his postseason career with the Yankees, he's pitched some really good games too.
He has, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. And again, we all know this, being Yankee fans for so many years. Yankee fans remember the shit. We remember the games you shit the bed. Those are the ones that really stand out. Yeah, we remember the good outings, but for some reason, the stinkers stay with us. Mm-hmm. They stay with us. Those are the ones that really stay with us when it comes to
Andy Pettit's one of my favorite players of all time. If you ask me today, in his prime, who would I give the ball to win one game? I'm still probably going to answer Andy Pettitte, the guys that I've seen in my lifetime.
Me too.
The only game that I can really pinpoint and remember vividly that he pitched in the postseason is Game 6 of the fucking 2001 World Series when he got lit up.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I mean, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Is that we have
you
won
remember
so much.
Those games? Those games stick out so much, and you could see, and you knew in 2009 he wasn't the same guy, and he pitched with guts and he won. I think did he win every clinching game in 2009? Yes. I believe he did.
Yeah. Yep. He did. And that's another good thing, too, to bring up about a guy like CeCe. If you guys remember, one of the concerns of Sabathia was, would he be able to lead the Yankees to a World Series? And that was CeCe in his prime, because we know years after that, some things happened and CeCe wasn't the same guy. We know about the alcohol issue and whatever it was for CeCe, but you can never sit there and go, CeCe wasn't a stand-up dude. He didn't go there to take the ball, give his all. He always did that. We know that. But even in his prime, 2009, CeCe came out there and did what a lot of people didn't think he might be able to do, which is win all the big games and go out there and pitch good. And he did. He did his job. So he was the last ace besides Cole that the Yankees gave a ton of money to and said, hey, lead us somewhere. He did that. He did that. Whether or not he was the best pitcher of 09 in the postseason, he did it. He did it. And Gerrit Cole has not done that yet. But he has an amazing opportunity with a lot of good fucking guys behind him now. It's not like anybody's looking at his team right now and going, I mean, shit, all we got, like we did in the offseason, we all did. I mean, it's Gerrit Cole and who? Well, hey, you could say, hey, you guys sound like assholes when you say, okay, all right, cool. Guess what? We're also sitting here saying we're fucking wrong on it. I know I am. I wanted Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray's pitched to a 5 fucking ERA.
Right.
So,
I thought that was a no-brainer for the Yankees to go out there and sign Robbie Ray, and obviously,
I still think he's going to do very good. The remaining, I think when it warms up, he'll be good. I'm a big Robbie Ray fan. All right, let me say that. But still, nobody expected a rotation to be this good. But a great thing for Cole is that he knows he got these guys behind him. He shouldn't be going to the mound feeling that the pressure is only on him. Yes, when it's your game to win. A game 1, you got to set the tone. But you got guys behind you now. So just go pitch your damn game.
And CC kind of created that whole tradition where when they're warming up in the pregame, all the other starters are standing behind them watching, and then they kind of go on to the field together. Stuff like that has been really eye-opening this year of how they're kind of coming together as
I'm happy you bring that up because I said that, I think the other day on a Game Season Live, I said it because one of the things if you guys notice this, when a starter comes out the game, the rotation's always around them talking.
Mm-hmm.
They're always around each other. And that is another major difference. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I think one of the great unsolved mysteries, in my opinion, for the Yankees is what really was wrong with 2021. What was really the problem? And I know some people probably might sit there and be like, Pete, what are you talking? Here's what I'm talking about. When you watch Aaron Boone, when you watch the coaching staff, when you watch the way this team plays, are you really sitting there telling me that, it's because they got Donaldson and IKF, that they're all of a sudden a much more relaxed team? They're talking to each other. Everybody's on the top of the step. Boone is there hugging guys, laughing with guys. He didn't do that last year at all. Something is fucking different here. And I don't know what it was, but something is very, very different.
Maybe it was something that maybe you said it. We might have talked about this where Boone said, all right, I want to come back. I'm coming back, but you got to let me do what I got to do.
No, that happened. 100% that happened. Guys, it's happened. Now, look, we got Willie Randolph who said it did, but at the end of the day, I don't care who. All you got to do is watch. He's night and day different. It's not even comparable.
He's almost we were big. We coined Ryan. We coined the term Booner for Boone. That was like our slogan. I did not want Aaron Boone to manage this club when after 2017 when they were in a managerial search. I didn't want him. Yeah. He kind of won me over. But then we seen him with the COVID season and last year he wasn't the same guy, and now he seems to be going back to the guy that we kind of fell in love with a little bit in 2018 and 2019. Is Aaron Boone ever going to be the best manager in Major League Baseball? No, but does he have to be?
No,
I don't think he does either.
He doesn't have to be at all. I mean, what he's doing now is different.
Just
even
don't
his post
fuck
games
things up.
You're 100% right. But even his post games are different. His post-game conversations are different. We saw him giving shit to Woodward or whatever the hell his name is. I mean, we've seen him do that multiple times this year where Boone is like, all right, I'm not going to sound like the puppet guy. You know what?
Yeah.
The thing, too, is, and SGR, you're probably going to comment on this exactly maybe, but the guy, I believe, look, and I've said this all my rant videos on Aaron Boone, let's go hear him again, and you'll understand what I was talking about. I kept saying, this guy got to have some sort of pride. Your whole entire family were ball players. Nobody's questioning if you know about baseball. No, you'll be a moron. He was right when he said that. You're an idiot if you don't think I know baseball or I know the analytics and then there's the feel. I understand all that. He does. No question about it. The guy was handicapped last year and not allowed to fully manage this team. It's so fucking obvious. And I give him credit. I begged it. I maybe he's seen him. I tagged him in all of them. So maybe he's seen one of the videos. No, maybe he's seen one. When I'm sitting there saying, Aaron, please find your fucking pride. Go out on your shield if you have to, if that's the case. Or tell this team you need to manage. It's that simple. I believe he's a baseball guy, bro. I believe it. But you got to friggin' manage your baseball team. He looked like an asshole last year. And this is not me picking on him. Look at the stuff with Gleyber Torres. All year long, he's making excuses for him. It was October 3rd. Oh, Gleyber feels sorry about what he did. Are you fucking kidding me? He feels sorry. That's what you say. It's the last game of the season. That's the best you got?
It's like when your kid knocked over the lamp and busted the fucking thing. And he's like, oh, you feel sorry about it. Okay. You feel sorry about it. This is a guy who's a Major League Baseball player. You feel sorry that he was loafing to first base or whatever the hell. How many times did we see him do that shit last year?
Tons, man. And this year, and again, I don't want to keep, I had it first.
He had it first.
He had it first.
Okay.
One of the things that I remember I said a lot during the offseason was, you got to have a short leash on these guys this year. Don't let them bullshit you. Don't let them bullshit you. Don't let them play and be shit, not play good defense. Don't let it happen. We seen earlier in the year, Gleyber Torres got to the point where you weren't basically even a starter anymore. Joey Gallo was like, hey, buddy, sit down. Aaron Hicks, hey, you're not panning out right now. Aaron Judge could play center field. So I was calling for that. I said, you can't let these guys just feel like no matter what they do, they're going to play. Right. And they haven't done that this year, and that is fucking important.
And I think that was a big part of what was kind of hurting this team the last couple of years, is that they all came, a lot of those guys came out of the gate really, really, really good. Gleyber Torres, Aaron Judge, you could go back to Gary Sanchez too, where they kind of were given these egos right out of the gate, and they kind of kept those egos, and or maybe not egos, but they were playing over their heads almost because of that. And now it sort of just seems like they're playing baseball again. Yeah. But I just want to
that's a good point. That's a good point, Ryan, that outside of Judge, with those guys that came up and they kind of were gangbusters, the Yankees never adjusted how they played versus how they were playing them. Aaron Judge should have won the MVP in 2017, and then he continued being that type of player, right? So there was nothing you had to do with him. Gary Sanchez took the world by storm, okay? And then the Yankees, until, when was it, last year? It took them 4 years before they were finally like, well, this isn't the guy anymore, even though we were all kind of watching it. The same thing with Gleyber Torres. Like, this is what I was so mad about with Gleyber Torres, is that all the angst and the aggravation that we had over not getting Correa or Seager or any of those guys was all because of how bad he was.
Yes, that's right. And I mean, the main drive, and everybody knows this, is the way the offense was. That was the reason why, you could say all you want. Like, again, at the end of the day, I mean, if you want to sit there and go, well, they got better defensively, so they're a better team. Okay. All right. If you made that point, don't bullshit me and say you thought they would be this good. You didn't think that either. But we all wanted a guy like Correa, because what were we all saying? We all said in the shows all the time, they need somebody who's not going to mess around. They need somebody that's going to wake this team up. Hell, I still think they're a little bitchy, to be honest with you. I said this a lot. I feel like the Yankees have been shit on multiple times this year, and they still don't do nothing.
Right. It just happened again recently.
It happened again with
that little
Straw,
shitbag,
and then Jackie Anderson.
Walls.
And Jackie Anderson, too. And Walls 3 times
this
year.
Okay,
Jackie Anderson.
Now.
Jackie Anderson, it happened
Wait,
with.
who's he talking
There
about?
we go.
We got a super chat, too, by the way, by Raw Thompson. So let's shout out the big old Raw Thompson out there. Who's going to be there on June 25th, by the way. Thank you, Raw. Thank you, Raw Thompson. He says, Cole's the type of pitcher that needs good catches to drive the game for him. If you look at the catchers that have caught him in the past, Maldonado, I don't know who this is, Chi Rinks, and maybe Chirinos, and Trevino, the stats don't lie. Chi Rinks.
Yeah.
But no, the stats don't lie. I agree with that. I mean, he's God, Christian, I think you posted it today in our chat about somebody bitching and complaining about Gary Sanchez and how he was treated unfairly or something like that. Have people not watched Trevino? I mean, are people not paying attention? I don't care if Gary was the MVP this year. Are people not paying attention to what Trevino has meant to this team and the staff?
I'll put it to you like this. It literally does not matter to me what Gary Sanchez does in Minnesota. He could be.
Shouldn't matter to anybody, by the way, in reality. Does it
No.
affect the Yankees at all?
No, it shouldn't, because it was done here.
Right.
That shit. And we were some of the biggest Gary Sanchez supporters for many years, and we would fight and argue with people about it. But hey, you know what? It didn't work out here. So whatever he does in Minnesota is good for. I don't hate Gary Sanchez. I'm rooting for him. I hope he goes 0 for 12 this week. But outside of that, I hope he does really well. I have no ill will towards Gary.
No, not at all.
But this ship has sailed here. The problem where now people are realizing, Pete, even though I had it first, okay? Kyle Higashioka is not a major. Kyle Higashioka is not a major league catcher.
No, Kyle Higashioka. I can't even say his name anymore. Higashioka.
So
He sucks.
So now that people are watching him every day and realizing Ryan, can you look this up? Is his OPS even at 490 now?
it is 406. Kyle
His
Higashioka.
shut
I
the
mean,
fuck.
that
His
is that's
his OPS. His
on base
OPS.
plus slugging is 406.
That's
His
sickening.
slug is
406.
his
That's
slug is
sickening.
190. His on base is 216.
Okay.
Combined
he
406.
shouldn't
This
be
is
in
a
the
guy-
major leagues.
This is a guy that's playing half the games, catching half the games for the Yankees. And repeat that one more time.
406 OPS.
Okay. And I said this last week, and I'm not joking. You could get a beer league Sunday softball player to come up here and have an OPS of 406.
Why
No
not?
question. No question.
Go find any field in New Jersey. I'll find somebody this weekend. I'll drive around
think
to
about
the
it.
field.
You don't swing the bat for 10 at bats. You'll get at least one walk out of that every 10 times.
Yep.
At
And
least.
that's I don't want to jump into this already because I know we're going to talk about Aaron Hicks. That's the thing I say about Aaron Hicks, that I love these people that stick up for this guy. He takes pitches. Who gives a fuck? I can do it. I mean, if you're sitting there telling me, okay, the reason why Aaron Hicks is valuable to this team because he sees pitches in that bat. That's not a skill, folks. Anyone can do it if they really want to. You just sit there and look.
Not a $10 million skill. It's not a $10 million skill.
And on top of that, let's be real, because people want to say, okay, well, there was always the argument about Joey Gallo. You can have a fucking argument about Joey Gallo when he was in Texas because he could bat 200, have a very good slug in it, 35-plus homers, and walk 33% of the time. Yes, that's fucking impressive. To be bad in one side but good on another side and be productive. Aaron Hicks is not, I don't care how you want to break it down. He is not productive. And for anybody even bringing up the fact that, the Yankees owe him money, is this a World Series contending team or not? That's my question. If it is, he fucking goes. It's that simple. You release him. You say, bye, hasn't worked. Let somebody else get him. Let him work it out somewhere else. You got options now.
Speaking of those options, let's get into it. I mean, this is where we should take the rest of the show. We'll have a couple of fan questions we can answer at the end as well. But we all knew that Stanton and Donaldson were coming back this weekend. All right, we all knew that was going to happen, and we said it here last week. We know exactly what the Yankees are going to do. Miguel Andujar is going to get the short end of the stick, and he's going to go down to AAA.
Yep. And
that's exactly what happened after Friday's game when Stanton was going to get activated before Saturday's game. And here is my biggest problem with fans on Twitter right now that are like, did you Andujar's OPS plus is 74, and I know league average is 100. And
41 fucking at-bats.
He's got 41 at-bats. Here's what I want people, if you're in the chat and you guys agree that why is Christian making, or Pete or anybody making a big deal over Miguel Andujar, what else do you need to see from Joey Gallo and Aaron Hicks to prove to you that it's not working, that we shouldn't just try something else at this point? This is what I was saying even a few weeks ago with Estevan Florial, who I'm over, by the way, and it has really nothing to do with him. The Yankees have just made me over him at this point.
They don't want to use him. I mean, it's pretty obvious at this point. It is. And I'm a fan of him. I think he deserves a chance. The Yankees don't want to use him.
So
They don't
I'm
wanna use
over
him.
him. And I said this a couple months ago or whatever it was.
He's the next one to ask for a trade. He's the next
fix
one.
is yeah, right. The fix is simple though. You have guys in your organization that you could just call up and play. And if they suck, what? And if they're bad, what did you really lose? Nothing. All you did was prove that they're not the guy. And you can go, but it's not like you're losing anything because Aaron Hicks was gonna slug 600 and have an OPS of 12 at that point, or whatever.
Right.
You're not losing anything. So what is the harm of rewarding a guy, Miguel Andujar, who should have been Rookie of the Year? Okay, it's because he doesn't pitch. Oh, and all the writers had a chub for fucking Ohtani, and that's why he got the Rookie of the Year in 2018.
Yeah. Although
it's funny though that when the Yankees had Japanese players, they weren't considered rookies because they played in the Japanese league, but Ichiro and Ohtani didn't get that same treatment. But that's an argument for another day.
Matsui got robbed too, by the way.
And so did Tanaka. They didn't consider Tanaka a rookie.
Yeah, Matsui got robbed by what's the fucking
shortstop
name
for
again?
the Royals.
Royals. Angel Baroa.
Yeah.
Right.
Passed away actually.
Did he?
Did he?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. This is big news.
Car accident a few years back.
No, wow.
You might be right, Ryan.
Rest in peace, Angel Baroa.
R.I.P.
Wait, hold on. I think I'm wrong.
Mike, what the fuck you doing? He came back.
Mike, you're back.
Wait, I think he's alive. I don't know.
Oh, shit. Oh, Angel Baroa, sorry.
No, but I remember.
I have to reach out to Hector Gomez and see if he can get us in contact with him.
There was something with him in the news, though.
Maybe he got arrested or something. Did he get arrested?
I don't know.
Like, did he do it Esteban Loaiza and have coke up his ass or whatever the hell he was doing?
Could have been.
No, he was like a
kingpin, wasn't he? He was like kingpin.
It was like a drug kingpin.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, Angel Baroa is alive. Okay.
Good.
He's 40.
Good.
He's 45 years old.
Don't worry about those RIPs, everybody.
He's not an angel. Angel.
But I don't know why that sounded right, though.
Yeah, it felt right. Glad I'm wrong.
Well, I don't know how
it felt right
it felt.
for that one.
Maybe it was
felt like
another
I was
guy
right. It didn't feel right that he was.
No, maybe it was
gone,
another guy
but
of that era. Like it.
Maybe it was.
But so Miguel Andujar, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Injuries set this guy back. We all know that. But you told this guy go down to AAA, learn a new position.
Yeah.
He did.
Yep.
And we were all saying, Jesus, man, this guy's liability out in left field. He's worse than he was at third base. But you watch him this year, and he looks comfortable out there. I'm not saying he's going to remind anybody of fucking Ricky Henderson or Ken Griffey Jr., but he makes the plays. And you're saying, why not reward a guy that went out there and busted his ass to learn a new position, to be valuable to this team? We know Miggy's going to get, 75, 100 at bats. Eventually, he's going to start hitting. He had started to hit a little bit, not 2018 level, but he started hitting a little bit. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, we're just going to send him down again. And, my whole point was why? Why, when the other options are Hicks and Gallo, that it's automatic that they are the guys that have to stay? You owe nothing to Joey Gallo. He's a free agent at the end of the year. What are you going to have to bite? $5 million? Oh, my God. Raise the prices of the chicken buckets, okay? Which, I don't think you have a problem recouping your money if you raise them to $1, okay?
Right.
My problem is with Hicks, though. It's what people are like, what are you going to do if you get rid of Aaron Hicks? Then Aaron Judge has to play center field all day. Okay. What's the problem?
What has Aaron Judge done in center field where you're concerned about him?
The fact that my only issue with him is I don't know if they don't listen to him or he's just not as good at it.
Or not as
yeah. They don't get the fuck out of the way.
I've noticed that. And that's
their
concern.
problem.
I remember my father said, this fucking Hicks is going to hurt Judge. I'm going to kill him. That's what he's telling me the other day.
Gallo, too, the other day,
too. Here's my thing. And I actually just put something in the chat. This is a very simple question to ask Yankee fans. You had a chance. You had bases loaded. Game is on the line. You only had 3 choices to come up. Andujar, Gallo, or Hicks. Who do you want up? There's not one person so far in this chat that said any other name besides Andujar. But you
You're
want to
right,
know
man.
why? You want to know why you say Andujar?
I trust him the most to make contact.
There you go. There you
Right.
go. What does this lineup need the most of in it right now? They need
Guys
contact.
that make contact.
Yes. And Miguel Andujar does that. So look, here's the thing. And Christian, I want to go back to what you originally said about Andujar. People on Twitter, the fucking dumbass world called Twitter, in his little at-bats, he's doing this. So what about the many fucking at-bats that Hicks had? You don't look at those? He's been shit in the 140 at-bats. So you don't care about you care about Andujar's 40, but this guy's shit in the bed. Does he still have 2 extra base hits? I think he does. I wish
Hicks?
I think he still has only 2 extra base hits. I
Yes,
wish he
he
was
got
on the show.
You're right.
He
You're
got
right.
thrown
Pete.
out trying to stretch the other day.
SGR, you got his numbers pulled up.
Yeah, I got them all right in
Can
front
you
of
do
me.
us the nightmare of reading across them real quick?
Sure, we'll go with hits. He's got 29 hits in 136 at-bats.
Aaron Judge got 21 homers. Go ahead.
Okay. 1 double.
One
One-
fucking
One.
double. Go ahead.
1 home run.
Okay, hold on.
That's-
Pause right there 1 second.
Okay.
How many home runs does Matt Carpenter have in 6 games?
4. He has
4.
4 home
Okay.
runs in 8 games.
But
all right?
Hicks is very, very valuable. Go ahead.
He has 4 home and Carpenter 4 home runs in 19 at bats compared to Hicks's 1 home run in 136 at bats.
Now, if you asked everybody in the offseason who's going to have a better year, Hicks or Carpenter, I think most people are saying Hicks because Carpenter was basically done with baseball.
Yeah. He is second on the team in walks
Holy
with 23.
shit.
He's an elite walker.
He's an elite
okay?
walker.
Elite.
He's an
elite
walker.
walker.
Only behind the other Aaron Judge. Judge has 24 walks, 35 strikeouts. That's pretty low on compared to the rest of the lineup. 213 batting average, and a 337 on base percentage.
Okay, what's his OPS?
580.
What's his slugging? You ready for this?
243.
How is that possible?
That is the second lowest behind our boy Higashioka.
That is sick, absolutely sickening. Let's be real for a second. It's funny because the way people bring up and this was one of the main problems I had when it was discussed about Joey Gallo in the offseason, Christian, if you remember. They were so big on, let me find a little numbers that he did in Texas or with the Yankees. His exit velocity, when he hits the ball, has been good. There is not a number. And I like Joey Gallo more than Aaron Hicks. I would go with Gallo ahead of Hicks any day of the week. I don't think it's even close with how bad they've been now. I think Gallo's a way better ball player. Just a way better player than Aaron Hicks. Here's the thing I'll say this, though. With Joey Gallo, when he was in Texas, you had a lot to go off of. But the Joey Gallo in the 100-plus games he's been as a Yankee right now is a horrible ball player.
That's a fucking horror show.
There is no numbers out there. I don't give a shit what you want to do that says I have an argument. You don't have an argument. Aaron Hicks, folks, the same argument. Think about this. The same argument they're making on why Miguel Andujar should just accept going to AAA. And fans shouldn't be a little aggravated and go, I mean, the guy he has a point. He is better than these other guys. I mean, that is, and anybody has been noticed that he's been an above average defender in left field? Those are the stats.
Yes.
Those are the numbers the nerds go after. Okay, well, let's look at those numbers. He's been an above average left fielder. He hasn't made me shit myself when he hit a fly ball to him. I think he's taking good routes. He's never looked confused on a ball. Got a decent arm. Here's my thing. The same numbers they use to justify him being sent down, they ignore with Aaron Hicks. Why? Numbers are numbers. Aaron Hicks is worse. It's not even close. All you got to do is ask yourself that simple question. Who would you want up? Game on the line.
I saw somebody make a point today that said 2018 was such a long time ago in reference to Miguel Andujar.
Whose fucking problem is that? That was his fault?
It was also a very long time ago for Aaron Hicks when that was the only good year he's ever had in a 12-year Major League career.
It's earned him a contract. I mean, he could buy great golf clubs the rest of his life now. He's good. He's set.
That's my whole – that's what I'm not saying Miguel Andujar is going to come up here and hit 35 home runs and play gold glove defense.
And was he hitting for power? No, he wasn't the doubles machine that we used to. I understand all that. I admit that. You're right. All I'm asking for is guys.
Let's try something else. We've seen a guy that's going out there and catching the ball. He shows a little bit of a pulse at the plate. Let's try this.
Well, he's not an automatic out. He doesn't make you depressed when you come up. You see Aaron Hicks come up with men on in scoring position, and there's less than 2 outs. You're sitting there saying, please just hit a fly ball, please.
If you DFA Joey Gallo, do you think he's gonna? And the Red Sox pick him up. You think he's gonna turn into Babe Ruth?
No. Joey Gallo. Let me say this about Gallo because I hear a lot of people say he's just. I think Chris was saying it last time that he thinks he may never play a game again. Joey Gallo's gonna play.
No,
Joey Gallo's gonna play baseball again. There's no doubt about it. I
disagreed with him on that.
You did, and I remember you saying it. I'm watching it saying, yeah, come on, Joey Gallo's gonna play again. The thing is. And just speaking on Gallo real quickly, I did a really good interview with Kevin Kernan. He was with the Post for ages. Kevin Kernan said he even spoke to people in Texas, and they said flat out, if the Yankees used real scouts that watch guys know about players, they would have been told that Joey Gallo should not be anywhere around New York City. Based on knowing him personally on a mental level, he belongs nowhere near New York. That's the guy we're seeing now. I don't think we're seeing a guy that's his career is over. I don't think we're seeing that. I just think we're seeing a guy who cannot play under the microscope of New York. It's not the first time this happened. It shouldn't be amazing. Would anybody be shocked if he goes to the Brewers and hits 35 homers next year? I wouldn't. I wouldn't at all. No. So I think that's the problem that Joey Gallo is having, is that he just doesn't belong here. But Aaron Hicks, on the other hand, ask yourself this question. You DFA Aaron Hicks tomorrow. Are the Yankees a better team or a worse team without him?
Even if the Yankees replace him with Tim Locastro, who we all know
he does more, doesn't he?
He does. The guy swings a wet noodle up at the plate, but just speed and defense alone, it's an automatic improvement.
And Christian, and that's my point here. It's that easy, and I'm sick of people that come to me and go, "Well, Pete, you know how Steinbrenner is not going to do it." Then fucking give the season up. Don't win. If that's the case and that's the mentality, then don't fucking win. If you can sit there and say, "I'm holding on to a guy only because I owe him money," and he's this fucking bad, then don't win shit. And don't be the Yankees no more. Because you have a rare opportunity, and that is having a legitimate team to win a World Series. We haven't said that for a couple of years now. We are seeing one of the best starts to a Yankee season. If they do not look to improve this team, and that includes dumping Aaron Hicks, don't give me the bullshit that they are looking to win a World Series, because you're not if that's the case. You're just happy with where you are. This should be one of the most active deadlines for the Yankees.
They have to, the fact that fans are like, oh, they're winning, why change? Because the goal isn't to be the best team on June 6th. The goal is to be the best team after the World Series is done being played. And right now, you can do things that can make this team better. Try to eliminate as many questions as you possibly can. And if you look, you want to say that the staff loves Kyle Higashioka. They love throwing to Kyle Higashioka. First of all, that shit is way overrated if you can get a guy in there that can play competent defense, which Higashioka really hasn't even done this year because he grades out
terrible overall. He's been horrible overall.
He grades out statistically terribly. Okay, if a guy that can come in and hit a little bit, right? But you cannot in a big game in a 5-7 game series or whatever it is. You might be playing the Astros. You want to give Justin Verlander 2, maybe 3 free innings when you have to go Higashioka Gallo hits.
Yeah, you can't do it, man.
You want to give him. You want to give a guy like Justin Verlander 6 to 9 free outs.
Can't do it. You can't do it.
That's what I'm saying. Look, I wanted the Yankees to go out and get Andrew Benintendi last year. That guy what is that really going to cost you to bring him in here as a rental to go out there and play left field?
And here's the thing. See what you just said about cost? And really, I'll be honest, when you got, again, and I think you'll agree with this, and SGR, I think you will too. When it comes to winning a World Series, I don't give off. Nothing should get in your way. And again,
No, I completely agree with
I'm
that.
going to
but we
repeat
know-
it again. We know how the Yankees are. We know, but that's my point. What I'm saying. Then don't fucking win. And that we're all big Yankee. None of us could sit here and go, we're just doing this for fun. No, we don't work this fucking hard if we're not fans of this team. But I have an attitude and I have an anger with the team that would put a fucking prospect over one of the greatest starts that nobody expected. I don't care if you're the most optimistic guy in the world. You didn't expect this. And when you have this going for you, nobody should get in your way. If you got to give up a couple of extra guys to maybe say, hey, you know what? Steinbrenner has gave me a budget and I can't go over it. Go move fucking Joey Gallo and let somebody take his $5 million. Go try to get rid of some of that salary and get a guy like Benintendi. Go out there and get another role guy. Maybe like you said, maybe you get another decent backup catcher that can spot Trevino a little more. Bullpen arms are going to be a must. So you got to go out there and figure it out. If the Yankees bring up any bullshit along the lines of we're strapped for money, we can't go over this tier, we can't do that, then don't do me a favor. Don't fucking win.
Right.
Don't win.
And you look at it too. It's like if you're going to get rid of Hicks or you're going to get rid of Gallo, you're going to have to eat some money. Yeah. But it's not going to be that same money that a team like the Dodgers had to just eat, which was like $47 million because they went over the luxury tax threshold. So it's not an unreasonable thing.
It's so short-sighted though to say, oh, I might have to pay really pennies to go over this luxury tax because think of the money they'll make if they're in the World Series this year.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt about it. No question about it. And you know the other thing too is, I mean, guys, you got to take advantage of all that stuff too with the type of year Aaron Judge is having. One of the things we haven't talked about a lot is people are talking a lot about Aaron Judge, right? And you got to re-sign Judge. We know that. What about fucking Jameson Taillon? I mean, Jameson Taillon is going to command a lot of friggin' money.
It's true.
I mean, this is a guy, and at the end of the day, he should. This is a guy that's come off 2 Tommy John surgeries. He should demand every bit of pennies he could get.
No, Cashman's never letting a double TJ guy go.
So,
never happened.
Yeah, true.
I mean,
surprised he hasn't signed him yet.
Yeah, but that's kind of where they are right now. And I just want to shout out this chat real quick. You guys are fucking awesome. Got almost 150 people in here. But guys, do us a favor. Let's get to 100 likes. We're at 67. And again, the only reason why I bring up the likes because more people come in and see the NYYST podcast, NYY News, what we do. It gets more people to subscribe because we got a mission to get to 10K. But do it out of respect for what these guys do here.
Respect. Okay.
Respect. Okay. You know, I wish Mike was still here. He would have talked about respect for a while. He's knocked out cold, but it's important. I mean, Christian, do you agree with me that I really believe that this deadline is much more important than Yankee fans are giving it right now? They're kind of just blowing it off. Well, don't change nothing. I think there's a lot of change that still has to happen.
Look, I hate being labeled as a negative podcast. I feel like we're not negative. We want to see the team do what it needs to do to get to the next level. I don't want to waste another 6 months of my life. I don't want to pour my heart and soul into doing these podcasts only for them to be home. My birthday's October 4th. Right? I don't want them to be home a week after my fucking birthday again. You know?
Right. No, you're right.
I'm sick and tired of it.
It sucks, man. Like last year was a nightmare. The 2021 calling games, doing NYY News TV, doing the Designated Spitters podcast. You guys obviously doing your show. It fucking sucks. It really does. It sucks when every time you come on, you want to complain. And that's why I'm sitting here saying this team has a rare opportunity. They come on. I mean, look, you look at the team on paper, you look at this, they got 5 aces. Let's call it what it is right now. But based on their numbers, I'm not sitting here saying Jordan Montgomery's an 8. Based on their numbers, they got 5 aces. They got 5 guys. Christian, you said it earlier. What is anybody concerned when one of these guys start that they can't win a ball game? No. That is an amazing thing. Every year we talk about how is the pitching going to hold up? How is the pitching? What is the offense going to do? Aaron Judge is having a phenomenal year. Thank God Giancarlo Stanton's healthy. He's there. You could talk about Anthony Rizzo's average being low, but he's super fucking productive. He's been super productive.
Look at that game. There was the final game against the Angels.
Yeah.
That single up the middle, that's a hit the Yankees don't get last year to win a game 2-1.
We're going in, and the pitcher's doing well. You're going into the 12, 13, 14 inning, then your heart breaks. That's all that happened last year. That's why, again, we're not being negative. We're not. What we're doing is saying, please, Yankees,
you have
make the right fucking things.
Right. You have an unprecedented opportunity that has not presented itself.
Correct.
In how many years now?
Correct.
We're sitting here on June 6th where you are undoubtedly one of the two or three best teams. If you want to take the Dodgers and the Astros in there, and until we see DeGrom healthy, I'm not putting the Mets up there, okay? I don't want to trigger any Met fans, but until we know DeGrom is healthy, they're not at this level right now. They're the fourth best team. I want a piece
of those scumbags. I want a piece of those scumbags.
But you are one of the two or three best teams in baseball right now. Anything other than automatically being in the ALDS will be a huge disappointment at this juncture. You would have to fail catastrophically throughout the rest of the season to be playing in a wild card game.
Oh, they would have to completely. It'll be like a Jenga tower about to fall. I mean, they would have to collapse.
Exactly. So do what it takes to not only solidify yourself in the regular season, but as I just said a few minutes ago, don't give the opposing pitcher 9 free outs, because that's what you'd be doing. You cannot throw out a lineup in the postseason that has Kyle Gashioka, Aaron Hicks, and Joey Gallo in it. You can't do it.
Not against the best of the best. Like, even if the Yankees get to the World Series like that, let's say and I know we don't want to talk about the teams like the Mets. We don't want to talk, the Dodgers. But if you're I'll keep names of teams out just for the hell of it. But if you're facing the best of the best, you can't go in there and say, we should have done this. Maybe we could. You don't want to get eliminated and go, maybe if we gave up that extra guy for Benintendi, maybe it would have been a good idea. Maybe that would have really been the difference maker. Maybe if we decided it's time to cut ties with Aaron Hicks and we said, you know what, Aaron, we're going to leave you in center. Well, we're going to go with Stanton. You're going to play the majority of your games in right field or in left field, whatever they do. But you don't want to look back and go, damn, man, if only they made those moves. You can't squander what this team has done right now. And I'll be honest, there's an opportunity here for Hal Steinbrenner to say, I said they're a World Series team, so I think we're going to win. I'm going to sit back and see this team do it. That would be a major mistake, and I hope that's not where his ego takes us. What I hope they do is they say, you know what? I said we're a World Series team, and we're playing like we are, but we're going to get this team better. We're going to go out there and be. I want this off this deadline to be super aggressive. I don't want the Yankees to get one. I don't want we got Benintendi. I want a couple of relief pitchers. I want a fucking another utility guy. I want an outfielder. I want enough that us doing these shows go, holy shit. All right, guys, you know what? I'm really bought in. Now, it's going to really bother me if we lose, because I know for a fact we have put our balls to the table. The owners have too, and we are going to fucking win. And if we don't, then shit, we're going to be mad. But we can't go back and go, Boone did this, or they didn't get this guy. They shouldn't have let Benintendi get away. They shouldn't have let this guy get away. Can't do that. You can't.
And that was my biggest gripe in the offseason, is that I wanted just them to eliminate as many question marks as they could.
Yep.
And that's all I'm asking for. I'm not saying that you go out there and we know the Yankees are going to need to get help in the bullpen. Okay. We know that. We don't, whether or not you want to blame the shoulder for why Loizaga wasn't bad, that's a problem in and of itself, that every year this guy's had a problem with his shoulder. You can't trust Aroldis Chapman for shit. You can't trust this guy. And I love Clay Holmes. I love what he's done so far, but I need to, like you want to say about Gerrit Cole, you need to see him doing it. He needs to do that in a big spot.
Of course.
He needs to do that in a big spot.
And I'm not, and again, this is not a knock on Clay Holmes. Clay Holmes is great, but Clay Holmes could also get very wild. Mm-hmm. He could also lose it really quickly. We saw it the other day. Bases loaded, struggling a little bit, but
the funny thing about that inning is he gets Trout and Ohtani.
Yep.
And then he can't get anybody else out. That's That's baseball, Susan. Well,
He
that's
beamed-
fucking baseball.
He hit two
right?
guys, right? He beamed two guys in that inning.
Did
Yes, he did,
definitely,
back to
yeah.
back.
Honked two of them, yeah.
Yeah, but that was so the Yankees are going to need help in a bullpen. They're going to need an outfielder. I don't think I think you're delusional if you don't think they need help in the outfield. They could stand to upgrade the catching position a little bit too. And I love Jose Trevino. I think you never want to say a guy that they picked up out of an emergency, a necessity, because you traded for a guy that was fucking hurt and nobody ever heard of. That's why you went out and got Jose Trevino. But you could say his presence alone in the clubhouse and the energy and the way about him is another reason why this team is different than 2021. The Yankees didn't have these types of guys in the clubhouse last year. Rizzo for a full year, Jose Trevino, even a guy like IKF, who I'm not the biggest fan of, just the fact that he goes out there and even if he's not playing at the top of his capabilities, which isn't really that high in my opinion, he's playing baseball the way that baseball is supposed to be played. The Yankees didn't have these guys in the clubhouse last year. And that could, Chris is a big chemistry guy. I'm not, but you sprinkle those guys in with the way this team is playing, and it does change the culture, and it does change the feeling around this team.
No question. And Anthony Rizzo is just a big fucking part of that too. I mean, the way him and Judge gravitate to each other, the way to and I said it a little earlier too. I mean, do you guys remember any point last year of Aaron Boone going across the dugout, hugging guys, laughing with Aaron Judge, patting guys on the back? I remember in the wild card game, and I bring this up so many times, right? And there was a moment, I think Plawecki, wasn't it Plawecki pinch hit?
He was the backup catcher in Boston,
And
right?
I think he pinch hit for somebody or something like that. And Cora went up to him and starts shaking his head and screaming in his face. I'm like, man, I wish we fucking did that, because that just goes to show you that there's like a brotherly camaraderie among the manager, the team. They all know they can be this way. And this team this year is showing that. They got each other's back. Yes, do I wish they were a little more bullish on things? Yeah, I do. I do. I still wish they make up for that. I wish Aaron Judge didn't, circle jerk Tim Anderson and say he's the greatest gift that baseball's ever had. I think that was a real bullshit move. And I applaud Josh Donaldson for saying something about it. I applaud Donaldson about saying, you know what, we're going to take that private and have a conversation. Good for him. You should. Because I believe this team is something special. They're looking like they might be something special. Please, the last thing you need is internal bullshit. Have your guys back. Fucking back your guys up. The least you could do, 98. Let's go back to 98. Greatest sports team of all time. This team, we remember Darryl Strawberry laying the hammer down. We remember Tina Martin, Graham fucking Lloyd. Remember Graham Lloyd? Fucking people, it looked like a gazelle a lion trying to get to a gazelle. I mean, but those are things that build the club to really go to war with each other. And a lot of the questions we've had in the past of this club, can Giancarlo Stanton be the same guy in New York? He's fucking awesome. When it comes to big moments, yeah, give me G in that lineup. Put him up in that lineup. Aaron Judge, is he a one-time? No, Aaron Judge is one of the elite ball players in baseball. And by the way, Christian, I don't know if you heard his SGR. You guys probably got to like this. You guys probably heard it already. Isn't it nice to see Aaron Judge go, hey, you know what? Batting average is king. Batting average is king. I want to be the elite type of ball. I want to be a complete all-around guy because, yeah, it means something. It does mean something. So with the way this club is going right now, the way they're playing baseball, just keep it friggin' going. Don't do the stupid mistakes. Brian Cashman, man, I hope to God Brian Cashman makes his way in June 25th on that party deck. Somebody, I don't care who it is, somehow in the world, I just want to say, do us all a favor. We've been big critics in the past. We're not criticizing you guys this year, doing a hell of a job. But please, go fucking improve this club even more. Don't lay back. Figure out a way to improve this team. Because look, this is the first year of NYYST. We would love to celebrate a friggin' World Series. We would love to celebrate a World Series. We want it. Go do it.
And I've said this before, and I believe it to be true, is that no move the Yankees could make will guarantee them a World Series. But if they don't win the World Series and you sit back and do nothing because of where they are at the trade deadline, you know, they might have a 10-game lead in the East.
They might have a 2-game lead. You never know.
Let's say that they continue this run and they have a 10-game lead. Yeah. They have a 10-game lead in the East at the trade deadline, and Cashman's like, "What do I need to do? Look at this team." Mm-hmm. That is not doing your job.
Not at all.
If you go out there and you go out there and you pick up a couple of arms and you get a Benintendi and then you still lose, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm going to be upset that the Yankees didn't lose, just like I'm upset at the Yankees every year the Yankees don't win. But at least then I can sit there and go to bed whenever they get eliminated and said they did what they needed to do, but they just didn't get the job done. I want to be able to say, honestly, I want to be able to say that this team won the World Series this year, but I want to be able to say if they don't, at least I can feel good about the fact that Brian Cashman did everything in his power to get the team to where they needed to be. That's all I'm asking for. Yep. So that's why I keep harping on Hicks and I keep harping on Gallo and saying we need to improve it.
And if anybody says that's negative, honestly, go fuck yourself. And I'm honestly, I'm keeping that. If you think it's negative to want your club to not run out a guy that has the worst fucking numbers in baseball, besides the fact that he could draw a walk, but do nothing else. If you think it's negative to want your club to improve upon that, you're stupid. I'm sorry. That's not being negative. That's not what negative is. Negative is saying, I don't trust this team. I think they're going to fall. I think they're going to still fail. I'm not seeing enough. I think they're going to fail. That's being stupidly negative. But to sit there and go, we need to improve on the areas that we do see as a weakness. It's not negative. That's what Cashman should be doing.
That's what he gets paid to do.
That's his job title. That's his role. I mean,
I want to say this before we get towards the end of the show here. We said we noticed a little bit of a difference in Aaron Boone this year, right?
Question night and day.
Not saying that Aaron Boone's ever going to have the Vince McMahon grapefruits, but he's got a little bit of
chance. That's what you got.
He's definitely dropped his balls a little bit this year, and I think part of that is the new contract. Knowing that he's going to be here for 4 years, they're not going to fire him off of this year. No. So he might be swinging his dick out there and be like, you know what, I could do what I want to do a little bit more this year because they're not going to get rid of me.
Last year, he looked like a timid dog last year. And let's be honest, he did. They weren't a horror. They weren't. Look, they didn't win 81 games. They won 92. But
they weren't a 92 win team.
No, not at all.
They were not
at all.
Every time I think about the Yankees last year and people say, well, they won 92 games, it still doesn't compute to me because they didn't look like a team that won 92 games.
Yep. It's true, but he's night and day a different guy. I mean, night and day. And look, is there going to be times when of course he's going to make moves that we disagree with. I mean, again, what was it? Miguel Castro the other day. I said, please don't bring Castro in. Don't do it. Don't do it. I don't care who you... I just had a feeling about Castro. We even said I think Alex in our chat.
It was yesterday, yes.
Yeah, and Alex was like, everybody feel like he's going to give up runs, right? I'm like, oh, yeah. Yep, he is. And he did. And again, and I actually stuck up for Boone on this because people are sitting there going, oh, well, you should have went there. He has to find somebody at this point that's reliable. He got to use different arms. He had
right, and that's what I made. I made that point about Ron Marinaccio last week, is that he had just come off that, I forget what game it was. It was one of the Tampa games where he came in there and he walked a bunch of guys.
Right.
But he had just come off of his best outing in the major leagues where he pitched 2 innings behind the JP Sears start. You can say whatever you want about Green and Chapman and Loizica. These were all guys that were counted on to pitch big innings for the Yankees. Boone doesn't have them right now. He's got to find guys that he can go to.
Yep.
So if you're a Marinaccio and you come out and you have a big game in support, behind the JP Sears, why not seeing if he can back it up and do it again? That's why people freaked out last year when it was a 10th inning or whatever, and Brooks Christie came in there and he couldn't find a plate. Yes. He was fucking lawn darting balls.
Correct. Yeah, last year's a different story too because there was just Last year, you're like, what the fuck is this team doing?
But even in that
that
one specific instance, I didn't have a problem with it because Krisky had just come in his last outing and saved fucking Aroldis Chapman's ass. So if you're going to do that, do it after a guy is proven in at least one outing.
Correct.
And see if you can build on that. That's called good managing. And then if he shits the bed, then reevaluate.
And it goes to kind of the difference of the season too, doesn't it? The 2021 Yankees, nobody had an expectation really that this is a World Series type team. This year it's different. This year it's like this is a World Series caliber club. Yeah. So please go out there and make some changes, add to this bullpen. Because Boone, he deserves it too. Let's be real here. He deserves it because at the end of the day, look, and I've always said this. Oh, when people go, but it's not Boone's fault. I don't care. At the end of the day, look, he's the manager and that's their record. So I could criticize him. But guess what I can also do? I can also pat him on the back when the Yankees are playing this good and say, go fucking get this guy help. The shit he took last year by me, by everybody else, 95% of the fan base wanted him gone. And everybody knows that. There's not nobody can sit there and go, I think they should have kept him. Everybody was sick and tired of Aaron Boone.
I didn't want him back.
Everybody wanted him gone. Everybody was sick and tired of him. So at the end of the day, help the friggin' guy out and go get, add some more. Lucas Lucky, I'm not a fan of. Look at their bullpen right now. Not a fan of Lucky. I'm not sold on Castro. Boone is working right now with, at the end of the day, I guess I just go with whoever's available and hope for the best. That's all he could do.
And to go back to the rotation quickly, that's the biggest thing that you could say about them is that they stepped up when they needed to step up the most when this bullpen is basically Clay Holmes right now.
Yes.
That's basically what it is. Yeah. And the starters, to their credit, said, hey, listen, guys, we got to go 6+, 7, 8 every time out. We got to make sure we're not getting more than 6, 7 outs out of that bullpen every night. And to their credit, for the last 2-3 weeks, that's exactly what they've done as this team has hit injuries in that bullpen. So you got to give those guys credit for that. It's not that they're going out there and pitching 5 scoreless innings or 5 in a third. They're, we said you're stunned when a guy doesn't get through the 7th now.
Yeah.
Correct. And for whatever reason, that's Monty. Monty will never be allowed to go past the 7th inning.
He'll take Monty out with 90 pitches, 85 pitches. As long as he gets 6, that's it. He's good. But even looking at the bullpen, and I'm not sitting here saying that the Yankees got to go out there and get 4 guys for the pen. Get 2. Maybe you can find 1 or 2. There's a lot of names out there, and, maybe it's not time to go into that because there's still a lot of time till a deadline. But looking in the system, they got a lot of guys that they could really get ready to get put in there. We saw what J.P. Sears could do as a starter. He comes up, wins a ball game, looks really phenomenal, throwing 95+ from the left side, good breaking ball. There's a guy who could really take over for a Litke down the line that you might be even a little bit comfortable with, saying, you know what? He pitched a little already here. He's kind of done his job. AAA's doing fantastic. But they got guys that can fill in. You're going to find somebody who could do a good job. But you
Domingo
also want to... Domingo
back.
Germán's on his way back. He beats the shit out of people. I don't want to go there. But I think it's a good idea that the Yankees know they have a mix. But go out there and get somebody that's a little proven too. Maybe Cashman finds another guy out there that's a Clay Holmes type that people aren't.
And that was my point with Andujar last week. We were saying if you're not going to play him, trade him, and he requested his trade, right? And we know the Yankees aren't going to trade him because they're fucking stubborn. They'd rather have him walk out the door for nothing like Clint Frazier than actually do something that might help them. But people are like, well, if you trade Miguel Andujar, what are you going to get for him? What was Clay Holmes last year when you picked him up? You mean to tell me
Hoyt Park was worth something? Let's get honest here.
You mean to tell me that you can't find, if you trust Matt Blake and you trust your scouting department, you can't find a reliever out there that has a 4+5 ERA out there that you like his stuff that you don't think you can bring in here and fix?
Yep.
I'm not telling you let's go trade Miguel Andujar for an ace. I'm not an asshole.
Yeah, right.
But you can find a fucking middle reliever to trade him for that might help. If that's what I'm saying, you can do these simple little things. I'm not asking for you to go out there and fucking trade for Bryce Harper. Although I made a joke about it on Twitter.
I know, and everybody said I saw that. These idiots take it seriously. I mean, guys, please. You really think the Yankees are going to go out there and go, hey, Bryce, come on over. And the Phillies are going to say, yeah, we'll give him up. We'll give our best player up, no problem. Come on.
But you don't have to move heaven and earth this year. And that's a good thing.
Great thing. That's a great thing.
But you need to supplement this team in certain areas.
Yes.
Don't sit back and rest on what this team has done so far. And I think that's all that we're saying. We have a great opportunity here to be the last fucking team standing. Well, that's all we want.
Let's remember this too, right? One of the things, there was the rumor earlier on that the Yankees players were pushing for a guy like a Correa or another big name to add to this club.
Yeah, we had read that.
But here's the thing too. Remember this. The players also have a feel. They have more of a feel of the team than anybody else. And one of the things that players have brought up a ton of times, is that it's important, right, to have a good deadline. It's important to add to your ball club. It makes the guys feel good about themselves. It's a good thing to do with team chemistry, to go, look, you guys are doing great this year. We're off to an amazing start. We believe you're going to be a World Series club. We think you're going to win the World Series. Let's go out there and get a couple of guys for you. Now go win. Now my simple message is, now it is on the players. Don't give me the bullshit you gave us last year, blaming the players for everything, and then not changing enough. That's why we were mad. We're going off the fucking words of the owner. So now you say they're a World Series team. Okay, add some players, and now you can sit there and say, look at that record. Look at the staff. I believed in you. You guys prove you're a World Series team, not making me look like a moron. Now, really, it's on you. Go win.
Right, and that was a big problem for me. And last year in the offseason, it's like, well, we know we need a shortstop. We know we need to improve there. Well, how much did you? I mean, really, if you take that, you had Wade and Velasquez on this team already, and then you get IKF. I mean, these were your words.
Yeah.
You know,
correct.
So you know, don't make that same mistake. If there's something out there that even if it's something simple that can keep you from having to rely on playing Aaron Hicks or Joey Gallo every day, it's pretty much a no-brainer for me at this point.
And you know, here's another thing. I just want to say this real quick. It is fucking awesome right now to be a Yankee fan. I didn't expect to have this feeling watching this team this year. I didn't, and I'll be the first one to admit it. I didn't. I'm also on record of saying they'll never win under Aaron Boone. But I'm also on record of saying what he needed to do to really change. And he's done it. And I hope I see him again. I'm going to the Italian American Baseball Foundation dinner later this year again.
He's not a Goomba.
He's not. He's not. But he's the, the Yankees are a big part of it. So I hope he's there again, because I really want to go there and say, look, man, I don't know if you recognize me, you heard of me, you see, I've tagged you a lot of these videos. But I was a huge critic of yours. Even if they don't win, I would love to see Aaron Boone go, you know what? But I don't care. You don't got to tell me anything changed. I know it did. But I just want to say, good for you. Good for you.
I'll put it to you like this.
They are so friggin' different. I really enjoy watching this team this year. And guys, we're 12 likes away from 100. Hit that damn like button for us.
Please.
As
like
much as...
please.
Please. So... as much as this is what we're pushing to make NYYNewsTV a full-time operation where this is what we do to feed our families. We're pushing there. Okay. But right now we have to supplement income. We have to do other things. We have to work a 9 to 5, and I travel for work. Okay. I'm in sales. I travel for work. I'm in and out. I work in supermarkets. I'm in and out all day. Right. So
did you ever find a Gayo, by the way?
No, I did not find that.
No,
I have
Gayo,
actually.
okay.
I actually did not look for
Pride Month, everybody. You could get mayonnaise. It's called Gayo now. So go get some Gayo. Is this NYY News TV is sponsored by Gayo?
They want to sponsor us. So I'm not going to say no. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. What are you gonna do?
Okay, helmets. Okay.
We're all inclusive here. Okay.
No doubt about it.
So anyway. What I've noticed more recently in the past month or so, I always wear my Yankee cap when I'm working. So it's always on me. People know I'm a Yankee fan. At least 2-3 times a day, somebody comes up to me and says, nice hat, bro. Or I love the way they're playing. Or they'll stop and, I'm working, but people will stop and they want to chat with me because they see that I have a Yankee hat on. I don't. These are not people that recognize me from the podcast. I know that, but there's still people that see another Yankee fan standing there. They want to talk to you about the team. That didn't happen last year. Nobody wanted to fucking talk about this goddamn team last year. But people are excited now. They see another Yankee fan. They want to talk to you about this team. But me personally, like when I'm working, shut the fuck up. I'm just trying to go home.
Right.
but it's great, man. It's like the enthusiasm and the energy of this fan base has been reinvigorated, and it's awesome, man.
Bro,
that's why it's another thing. Like that's why we're saying don't fuck this up.
Yes, and it was scary too, because I'll be honest with you, man. Francis said this on the podcast one day, and I was like, oh shit, kind of right. He was like, you know what it kind of feels like, Pete? I'm like, what? He's like, we're kind of switching roles with the Mets. And I was like, please don't say that. And he's like, it kind of feel like, think about it. Think about how the Yankees weren't being the Yankees. They weren't doing it kind of felt weird. It's like, I never felt embarrassed wearing my Yankees stuff. But Christian, you're right. People weren't going around like, hey man, how about those Yankees? Or they're doing great this year, aren't they? People would come around like, man, I don't know. It was like that meh. And he's like, I really don't know about the Yankees anymore, bro. Are the Yankees going to get Soto? I don't know. Are they going to re-sign this guy? Are they going to get correct? I don't think so. It felt weird. It's like, because now we're actually winning. We're still a better fucking team than the Mets, even though they're out there with an owner now saying, I'm the juggernaut. I'm getting anybody I got to get. I don't give a shit. They might have made this rule for me. I'm blowing by it if I have to. So it was kind of feeling like that, but you're right. Right now it feels really, really good to be a Yankee fan. It really does. It's a good place to be.
So let's close out the show with this. I asked for a couple of questions, so let's just see if we could get through these quickly here. From our boy Don Sicario, he says, at this point in the season, who is winning the Cy Young Award?
Nestor.
I mean, would we be doing our job if we didn't say Nestor Cortez?
We got 100
right now?
likes, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. I know there's other guys having good seasons. Verlander, what's the guy's name out in Texas? He's got a sub-2 ERA. I can't think of his name right now. Yeah, right. But, I mean...
Where did he come from, by the way? My God.
Boston.
Talk about another bounce, a hell of a bounce back season.
Exactly. But, I mean, if we're gonna let's be a little homerish right now. I guess we have to say Nestor Cortez is the front runner. And honestly, dude, I don't usually get wrapped up in these types of things. If he even pitches average the rest of the fucking next month, he's got to start the All-Star game. He has to.
No doubt about it. Nestor, listen.
He has to, man.
Nestor a molester is something else. I mean, he's molesting all the teams. Thank you, Jim
right.
Cat, our good friend.
You know what? And I give Nestor Cortez, now that you brought that up, Jim Cott said that on a Twins broadcast. He called him Nestor a molester.
I love Jim Cott.
And I give Nestor Cortez a lot of credit because basically to sum up what his reaction was, he basically said, people say dumb shit. He didn't mean anything by it, and let's move on from it.
Yeah, because look what Cott said immediately after it. I love watching it. He's something to watch, isn't he?
Yeah.
Come on, really, everybody? Let's take it easy.
You think he's trying to lure kids into a fucking van? I mean, seriously.
And we know the world we live in right now. Nestor probably could have had the guy lose his job.
Absolutely,
if he really wanted to. I mean, just being
Absolutely,
honest, he could have easily had him lose his job, and I agree because when I read that the first time, I shouted out. I was like, man, good job, Nest. Good for you. Good for you. Cy Young. All
right, so Mark Ferraro here says, would you still consider acquiring Wilson Contreras if the opportunity presented itself, or do you not want to mess with the rotation right now? First of all, I don't know what one has to do with the other, but yes, I would definitely. I don't know how you guys feel. If Wilson Contreras is available and the Yankees can acquire him and you can make him the starter, I mean, I love Jose Trevino, but Wilson Contreras is a legit starting catcher in the big leagues,
Well, I was told all off season that he's a poor man's Gary Sanchez, but anyway, moving on from that. I mean, it's quite obvious he's a way better ball player than Gary Sanchez is. And, he's getting a lot of love this year in Chicago because he's really taken on that leadership role.
Doesn't he have an OPS over 800? Ryan, can you look that up?
He's doing – I know he's having a phenomenal season, but the thing is, what I would say to that is –
916 OPS.
916, fucking
okay,
phenomenal.
So it's more than double.
I mean, yeah, he's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, Here's my thing. Here's my thing when it comes to potentially getting a guy like Wilson Contreras. If you can just get him, because I believe I feel like this is his last year. I think he'll be a complete rental. I don't think he has any. I think he's a free agent. If that's the case too, and you could just get him and go, you know what? We also like, we like Trevino. We're not looking just to destroy Trevino, but if we can play him and Trevino could share a little bit of the time and get a couple of days off, but he's going to be our main guy going forward. I think I'm okay with that. Higashioka's not good. He's terrible. I wouldn't be upset. And look, remember too, he already got a guy in the clubhouse who knows him.
Yeah, just to
is it his last year?
Saying, Contreras is a free agent at the end of the year.
So look, Anthony Rizzo already knows him. I'm sure they have a great relationship. Anthony Rizzo will be the first guy to come out there and be like, nah, he's not a fit, or bring him over. He's the type of guy we need here, or that fits in with what we're doing. Get another leadership type guy. Get another guy with a little more balls on him.
The Yankees have
do it.
3 more years of control over Jose Trevino. So
yeah, Trevino's only 29, so they got years and years, and that's not giving up on Trevino. That's not saying that maybe he can't develop into a full-time catcher for the Yankees. You never know. Guys get better pretty quick.
Right, but we're talking about this year.
I'm talking about winning the World Series.
What can help you win the World Series? And if a rental of Wilson Contreras to kind of just get – I'm looking more so – part of what my mindset is of acquiring guys is getting rid of the garbage on this team.
Correct.
And I'm sure Kyle Higashioka is the nicest guy in the world. As a baseball player, he's garbage.
Yeah, he's not good. He's not good at all.
Okay,
even as a backup, by the way. Even as a backup, he's not good because he's not playing defensively well.
No.
Okay, so we have a couple more questions here. Okay, so all right.
And I
so
just want to.
Brad,
can I say this real quick? Kevin
sure.
This is just going about Trevino. I want to because people made the same mistake on this when it came to Higashioka. Kevin said Trevino's numbers would be amazing if he was full time, but we don't know that, and that's the problem. Mm-hmm. That's the issue. We don't know how he's going to react to playing full time. Am I against it? Not at all. I would like to see what he could do full time, but you never know with a catcher how he's going to be full time when he's never done it.
Yeah, well, what did everybody think Higashioka was going to do when he was hitting when he was hitting Higgy bombs playing twice a week, and then the Yankees were like, "Well, Gary sucks."
Yep.
We finally realized, and then we give the job to Higashioka. Gary Sanchez is starting catcher again in 2 weeks.
Yep,
and not through anything that Gary Sanchez did, by the way.
And I also don't expect anything from. I know the chat is talking about Ben Rortvedt. I mean, is anybody expecting this guy to play one game this year?
I said this earlier in the year.
You had it first.
We found that. Okay, I had it first. I would be stunned actually if he ever played a meaningful game in his entire career for the Yankees.
Wow, definitely. I know for a fact he's not playing. I don't see him playing this year at all. No way.
So our buddy Brad Jewis asks, "What are your thoughts on the Blake Harkey combination with the pitching staff?" Mike Harkey's been here forever. You guys, I guess he's as good as anybody being a bullpen coach. But I mean, Matt Blake. Are we ready to crown him as the savior now? I mean, really seeing what he's been phenomenal.
He's been phenomenal. I mean, I always know, the big thing for me when it comes to pitching coaches have always been that, the best ones are the guys that are like mechanics. I think, they see a problem, they fix your car. It's fixed. They see a problem in your delivery, they adjust it, they fix it. They give you something else to change, and it works. And I think that's actually one of the things that they're witnessing with potentially with a guy like Robbie Ray is that he left what's his name over in Toronto, and maybe it's taken an effect on him because there could have been something there. But a good pitching coach is very important, and I think you're seeing that with Blake.
I think
look,
good
these young guys look good.
Pitching coaches are more important than hitting coaches, in my opinion.
I agree. I think these young guys look good. The guys the Yankees have called up, there have been a lot of guys under Blake who have been phenomenal. And then at the end of the day, whether you could say maybe it's a dead ball that has something to do with it, I don't care whatever has to do with it. Look at their numbers, and as I said earlier with Aaron Boone, when the guy is struggling, the rotation struggles, you have every right to blame the pitching coach. But when it's doing so good, the best one we've seen in Yankee land in a long time, give him credit. Give him credit, and I give him all the credit in the world. He's been amazing.
Yeah.
All right, last question here.
You got to give him credit. You got to give him credit for that. Just like look at Larry when things were bad. What was his last name?
Rothschild. Yeah.
It was always Larry's fault. Well, now this is all Blake's doing. Then if you're gonna go that turn, you got to turn it all around. Then
Grandpa Larry.
Grandpa Larry. Where's he at nowadays, by the way?
He was with San Diego last year, but he got fired.
Oh, he got fired. Larry.
You fired.
Larry. I always loved that name, Larry.
Joe Girardi fired.
Yeah, good old Joe gone. He should just open up a deli. I think it's time for him to open up a deli. That's it.
Need a good deli around here.
Need a good deli.
Where I live. All right, so
menu
Dorn,
in a binder.
That's it.
Laminate it.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Doran Hammer asks his last question we got here. What do you think the Yankees' record from the 14th to the 27th will be when they have a 13-game stretch against the three best teams, the Rays, Jays, and Astros? This will be their real test. I'm going to say they're going to go 10-3 because fuck you now. I'm on the train.
9-5.
Yeah, I don't know, but I will look at. I was pulling up the standings before. Through 54 games this year, the Yankees are 39-15. Through 54 games last year, they were 29-25. And through 54 games in 1998, they were 41-13. So 2 games shy of the pace they were on in 1998.
And again, that's not us being negative. That's us saying you might have something here. Build upon it. Build upon it.
You're 2 games off the pace, the greatest team in your organization's history.
Baseball history.
This is not take anybody, take any team. These are the fucking Yankees here, okay?
Yep.
This is the greatest team in your history, the history of your organization, the 98 team. You're 2 games off that pace. That's what we're saying.
If you want to keep comparing it there, as far as deadline moves go, I don't know if you guys remember this. I didn't. I was just looking it up during the pod. But they were really close to getting Randy Johnson during that trade deadline in 1998. They ended up not getting him.
Yep.
For Mike Lowell, I think it was. But then, they don't get him. They go on to win the next 3. They lose to Randy Johnson in 01. But this could be a similar, path that they're on where you look back on it.
Yeah, 98, actually. It's funny because if I remember well, I don't think they did anything in 98.
There's no major moves that I found.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Because what was David Justice, 99 or 2000?
2000.
He was 2000, okay. And that was obviously a really big offensive move that they made. But in 98, they did have the call-up of Shane Spencer, who carried a lot of the load, down the line.
They made their big move in the offseason is when they traded no, that wasn't in
98 is also when they got Scott Brocious. Brocious' first year was 98.
I was thinking of 99 though when they traded David Wells for Roger Clemens.
Right.
And that's the type of thing that the Yankees did then. They just came off a World Series and they traded who you could say was what? You don't want to say he was the ace. He was the 1B on that team then. And they fucking traded him.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying. Do things that you think are going to erase the question marks. I get tired of saying it, but that's kind of just what we're asking for. And we're not saying go out there and get Roger Clemens, whoever you think Roger Clemens is in 2022, but don't leave the stones unturned. Don't go to bed at the end of was it July 31st? Don't go to bed that night thinking, well, I could have done this if I just upped the ante a little bit. Now I don't feel. Do what you got to, and I know we're still a month and a half away from that, but we keep saying the Yankees have an opportunity here to do something special this year. And as fans of this ball club, that's all we want is to see you do your job so we can have that special season.
That's right. And there's always a rumor too, like you said, you're not talking about getting the biggest guys, but there's the conversation of, if a guy like Soto really ever did become available, I mean, do the Yankees pounce on something like that? We're not talking about moves of that nature. We're talking about just build upon what you have. You see a weakness, you know what? There's not many of them, knock on wood. There's not. But the ones that are there, get rid of them. Fix them. Do your best to fix them and leave no stone unturned and say, you know what, Stern, at the end of the day, even if we win, we knew we had it. If we lose, God forbid, we did everything we can with a real legitimate ball club. It's that simple.
So the Yankees are going to see some old friends this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. a quick trip, because then they'll be home again for 6 after this. Quick trip out to Minnesota. All 7:40 starts. They'll be playing the Twins. Gary Sanchez and Gio Urshela. They'll see them. They will not be seeing Sonny Gray, however, who's conveniently injured now.
How's he doing this year, by the way?
I think he's pitching okay.
Let me see. Interesting. I like to know how Sonny's doing.
What do you got on him, Ryan? Anything?
I think I have him blocked on all of my servers. I try to not
let me look it up here real quick.
See anything. No, I got him up here. He's got this year he's pitching to a 2.41.
Wow.
33 innings pitched. He's 3-1.
Okay. He's good. He's good. That's a perfect ballpark for him. That's a perfect ballpark.
And then I made this comparison. This is what Joey Gallo is. Sonny Gray. He's a good baseball player that can't play in New York.
That's all it is. And you know what? The funny thing about it is, and I mentioned this a lot of times, is Gallo shouldn't be the guy blamed for that at the end of the day. You know, you don't beat the shit out of a guy for not being able to handle New York. It's not who he is. And again, I think if that was something that was looked upon more with actual humans and scouts, instead of saying, well, the numbers look good, let's go with the numbers only. We're going to base this off the numbers of what he did in Texas and hope he does it here. Most people probably that know him would have said, nah, I don't think that's the move, guys.
Look, I'll take an L on that. I looked at his numbers, and I looked at a Gold Glove defensive outfielder who slugs and gets on base, and he's left-handed. All the things the Yankees needed last year.
I was all for it. My father told me flat out. He was begging me. He said, Pete, go on your thing and tell everybody it's a terrible move. He's going to be horrible. I said, come on, Dad. He's not going to be that bad. He goes, he's going to be bad. He said, because he's going to get exposed here. And I said, what do you mean? He said they're not going to walk him. They're going to pitch to this guy, and he's going to get exposed. He's not going to handle it. I said, all right, we'll see. But he was right. I was wrong.
I mean, and he's been, and I think Chef Jr. says this all the time. He's like, name me an everyday player that's been worse than Joey Gallo since Joey Gallo's been a Yankee. And I mean,
Aaron Hicks.
Yeah, his teammate.
His teammate. You're not going to find many other guys worse than those two, to be honest.
So, I mean, yeah, so the Yankees are going to see the Twins. The Yankees are lined. I mean, you say the Yankees are lined up, Pete, but we just said this. Like, who do you look at and say, oh, they can't win that game? Because, like you said, they're pitching like 5 aces right now. Tyone tomorrow, and then it's Nestor on Wednesday against Chris Archer. Minnesota's TBD for Tuesday, and then it's Bundy against Gerrit Cole to close out the series. So, I mean, you know,
they win all of those. I mean,
the Twins are 8 games over 500. It's the first good team the Yankees are playing all year.
Please, that's bullshit.
But the Yankees can easily. Honestly, I'm not just saying this because this is Yankee fan bravado now. They can easily sweep the series.
Why not? I mean, look, the Yankees always had the Twins number too. I don't think that's going to change at all.
And I think the pitching matchups
against anybody favors the Yankees. There's no denying that. Now. I mean, it's that simple. So I mean. No, with the Twins, it is what it is. I mean, I like the matchups. I'll be calling Game Season Live will happen the entire series, so you guys make sure you tune in and join us at NYNewsTV right here. Cool. But I like all the Yankees matchups. Anybody, I don't buy into that shit. Oh, we haven't beat the good teams. All right, so you know we split with Tampa. Okay, Tampa's always been a little bit of a pain. We beat up Toronto this year. We're gonna face them again. I mean, what is it going to take, even as Yankee fan? And this is actually us being extremely positive, isn't it? Like, we're sitting here telling you, when it comes to matchups, I'm not concerned about anybody.
So outside of the Yankees, there are, and I'll count Boston, okay? Outside of the Yankees, there are 5
500
teams.
Now, by the way, the Red Sox. So
that's why I'm going to count. That's why I'm going to count them. There are 5 teams at or above 500 in the American League. So I mean, if you're one of these people like the Yankees are only playing bad, there's only bad teams in the American League. So do you want them to lose to bad teams, or do you want them to beat the shit out of the bad teams? And I mean, really,
you can't bitch about it last year and then you know, kind of disregard it this year. They should beat the bad teams. Look,
the Yankees have. I think the Yankees have. I don't know
if every team fucking sucked. The Yankees should just win. That's it.
So the Yankees have played relatively well against Toronto this year. They played them a couple of times. I don't think they've lost a series to them, right? They split one, and I think they won the other couple of series they played them in. Tampa, they split. Boston, the only time they played them, they took 2 out of 3. Minnesota, they're going to see this week, and they haven't seen Houston yet. So, I mean, what is your major complaint then? It really, to me, my major complaints are get me an outfielder because I can't look at Gallo and Hicks anymore, and I need help in the bullpen. That's what it comes down to.
They also just embarrassed the Angels, who are on a complete skid.
Yeah,
they're on 11 in a row now.
That was an embarrassing series.
They
against the
absolutely destroyed it. We got a super chat too by BCNT Sports Cards, who says, "What do you guys think Judge will have home run wise at the end of the year?" I'll throw it out here. I think he breaks his record. I think he hits more than 52. As long as he stays healthy, I think he does more than 52. I would absolutely love to see Aaron Judge as the Yankee home run leader. I think that would be one of the best stories in baseball in years.
And then we can finally unretire Roger Maris's number.
Yes. Then after that, Roger Maris basically never existed.
Yeah,
sorry to the Maris family.
Out of the book.
He's very sorry to the Maris family, but
can we also cut him out of 61 and just recut the movie? We could do that too. Put Billy Crystal in it. Just make him a fake character. Have Billy Crystal
Gerrit
in it.
Cole would love that, huh?
Oh yeah.
So we're running about 2 hours here, man. We want to thank
I love it. I could go all night. We could go all night here. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody that's been in the chat. We got over 100 likes, as Pete said. We'll just run through this real quick. Again, June 25th is the event at Yankee Stadium. Go to @NYYST_podcast. It's pinned right to the top of our page.
And the link has also been in the chat. You can get it right there.
The link has been in the chat. Okay. You know, it's going to run you about $130 for your ticket, but that includes your seat in section 234, plus the pregame festivities, all you can eat food and beers. Okay. Beers is very important. Okay. $15. I was at the stadium on Saturday. Okay. Get loaded for free, basically. So you don't have to pay $15 for beers. All right. And then you can hang out with us.
Yeah, that's the best part. We're going to be wild. Let me tell you guys.
Or I know a couple people want to smack Pete. A couple people want to smack me.
Yes, we love it. It might be a whole fucking brawl. It might be like the movie The Outsiders or The Warriors or some shit. Who knows what the hell's going to happen when we're there.
We're the greasers, though.
Oh, right? We'll be the greasers, no doubt about it. We'll be the fucking greasers, no doubt about it.
All right. So also go to patreon.com/NYYST. Support the show there. I want to apologize. There was no new Patreon this week. The rain out kind of fucked everything up for me, and then I just never got around to doing it.
We got one request real quick. Sorry, we got a super chat late. BCNT Sports. This is for you, SGR. He says he needs. I guess I don't know. He didn't know your name. I guess. Mike Francesa saying this: Gallo's not good. He's just not good.
Okay. All right. I mean, you look at the numbers, looking at him here, and it's just, well, he's not good. Okay. Gallo's not good. Okay. It's not good. It's bad. Okay. It's bad.
By the way, he called you. He didn't know your name, so he goes, what's his nuts?
What's his nuts?
What's his nuts?
Well, I go, that's another nickname of mine. What's his nuts? Okay.
What's his nuts?
So, Pete, we want to thank you very much for sitting in and joining the show this week.
Of course, man. Anytime.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that was awesome, Pete.
The godfather of NYY News TV. Definitely follow Pete at Simonetti Source. And
had it first.
He had it first. And check out Game Season Live. Pete's doing a great job calling the games. It's hard for me to multitask like that. Watch the kid, watch you, and watch the game all at the same time. Dude. So I don't check them out as much as I do, but when I do, I'm usually fucking cracking up watching you guys do that shit. And then
good, he's apologizing in the chat. All good.
Sorry for the nuts.
Yeah. So we want to thank everybody for their continued support of not only NYY News TV but NYYST. Thank you very much for listening and watching episode 285. Pete, thank you. If you got anything you want to say on the way out?
No, same thing, guys. Basically, go get your tickets. Have a great time with us. It's going to be fun. I always say it on the Game Season Lives, which is, again, we're going to be covering all the Twins games. If you're in the proximity, man, come out there and see us. Let me tell you guys one thing I know about everybody on this team. The people you're seeing now are the people we are in person. So you're going to have an amazing time with us. Look, we're going to take tons of pictures. I think Francis got a professional photographer coming.
Shut up.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Yes, we got a lot of stuff going on there. Who knows who's going to pop in. It's gonna be a hell of a friggin' time. If you can make it, make it. And again, I shout out Chris on getting it set up. It's a huge moment for the company. It just is. I mean, if we can do what we did, the Yankees are gonna want us again, I'm sure. And I don't know how many people sell 100+ tickets, but we're right now in the first year of NY News TV, and we're already doing that. That's something everybody should be proud of, and really goes to show you how well we're coming off with the fan base, and it's gonna get even better. Stay tuned.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Pete. SGR.
Go Yanks.
All right. Oh, Chris is not here, so I'll say goodbye. Peace.
Before it hits the front page.